Our shares we head into the weekend. Friday, that's turning into a negative one, but I mean, we're off the lows, so it could be worse. Obviously, always can be worse. One area of the market, a bit of a sticking point right now, and it seems to be coming from some of the tech names, specifically some of the chip names, just the ETF here, but down about 2% here for SOXL this afternoon, as I mentioned, off the lows significantly, but still one of the trouble spots as we head into the final couple of hours. On the other hand, to the upside, not only Merck here, but some of the pharmaceutical names, Eli Lilly having a pretty good day as well, but almost 3% here for MRK, not seeing any real significant reason as to why, but nice move back to 103 for, there it is down there, Merck. J&J as well. Lilly was positive, has since gone red. AbbVie as well to the upside today, but outside of that, a little bit of strength as well coming from the banking sector. The bigger names, not so much. WFC, BAC, and JPM all negative on the day, but some of the smaller and mid-tier banks positive. Morgan Stanley positive as well as we head into the afternoon here. Tesla, not so much, 2.5%. We'll touch on that coming up here because it was one of the ones on the watch list this morning, one of the ones that we were discussing if you're with us in the pre-market. Join us every day at 8:30. You saw all the big tech names there, very red throughout the afternoon, continuing that way. Microsoft, Google, Apple, and NVIDIA. I mean, not very red, 0.75 for Apple, about the same for the rest of the three, but it's been a negative day all day. Yeah, Oracle, ouch, almost 6% on the day to the downside here for Oracle. There's nothing really significant that I was able to find on ORCL, but ugly. Adobe, CRM, among those downside as well. Netflix holding on to a slight gain here heading into the weekend as well. That's the lay of the land overall. That's the cues right now. So we're about halfway back, but trying to get back above that 357 area for the cues. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of comments from Mester. She was the last one to come through as far as Fed speak is concerned. As we go into the quiet period now, all week next week, we'll get a break from Fed representatives commenting on what is to come, and then November 1st will be the next checkpoint, as we were discussing with Frank Caberna yesterday. PCE to come next week as well. That's going to be potentially, anyways, a market mover as far as inflation is concerned. All right, let's talk some Tesla here this afternoon. As I mentioned, we were discussing it in the pre-market this morning on the back of a couple of analyst notes, first off, but it was Toyota Motors that came out after the close yesterday and said they too will adopt the standard, the charging standard. This was coming off their Tesla's earnings call where Elon actually commented on eventually everyone will, and that's what we're seeing. But I mean, it's significant in the sense that Toyota is the largest manufacturer and the largest by sales automotive company in the world. So decent to have them on board for Tesla here, but still pretty negative day here, pushing 3%, guys.
Incorrect. VinFast is the single biggest, actually no, of course they're not. I don't know. For some reason I have VinFast on my mind when that entire thing was going on, because you look at what's happening on a day like today, and it hasn't been super clean in terms of the short, but like the shorts have been the way to go today. It's just a matter of, like, you had to get all the way back to 1480 in the NASDAQ, and let's get the lay of the land first, and then we'll get into Tesla. So if you talk about what I'm saying, it hasn't been like that clean. At the open, this is a 60-minute chart of the NASDAQ. That is the first candle, and it's all to the downside. But then we've been straight up on the way back to 14.8. And then you wait till you get to 14.8, which was the pre-market low, and now we're rolling back over. So it hasn't been the most obvious in the world. Like, you were either short early, like you look at Tesla, it broke down off yesterday's bottoms, and then since it made that low right at about noon, like after we're coming off the show, it just came right back to the upside, press, and now it's starting to roll over. So you really had to dig deep with the old patience-o-meter here. With your patience. Patience-o-meter is a ridiculous thing to say. You had to really dig deep, have a lot of patience on the way back up. I did not trade Tesla today. I picked other names to be in the short end. I feel as if for trading Tesla, that's definitely got to be a bit of a focus. And for a hot minute, at least I remember in the midday show, Tesla looked, I mean, not just a little bullish, but super bullish. Because this move here, like, it pulls back deep through VWAP, And then this bounce off 13, when it was at that top, that looks very, very bullish when it looks like it's taking out the highs again. After that kind of a pullback, that's what it did on the way up. But 14.8 happened, and now we're rolling back over. I don't think, there's no EV name that sets up for me this afternoon. I'm out of Nikola, that wasn't really going anywhere. But wow, it down 3% today almost feels like a reprieve, to be honest, for Tesla, although the afternoon is young, isn't it?
Yeah, just getting started. We are, come on, give me some of that right now. We're just trying to get a little bit out here on Microsoft because we've just recently gone short again right here. We're going to talk about big tech in a minute. There we go, we get the fill, so that's going to be a good one. All right, we did, and we're short AMD, which is trying to go as well. All right, so yeah, in that hot minute where Tesla was pretty hot fire, we shorted it and got out, then shorted it again and take a hit there at 215. So I feel like we should still be short, but look at that. We did get stopped out there on a 215 break. We were shorting up into it. I mean, like we're short here, that's 215, right? 215.20, that out right there is 213.60. So we got some pretty good moves there on Tesla, but we did get stopped out that last time before this move back in, but it did hang around here. I still like a 215 short, and then we were also short up here with a stop as well, and then back in downside, but again, we don't have it. Remember, we got out at 215, and then I was banging my head against the table when we were down here at 211. So, you know, it's been the same rhetoric for me this whole time. Try to stay short Tesla, and you're now below the 50-period moving average, or sorry, the 200 period on the daily. So I just think more downside to come. We've picked our poison here with big tech, and that's what's next.
Yeah, let's go on to big tech here. It's been an interesting day for the NASDAQ. I mean, at one point it was almost trying to get back above where the S&P was throughout the afternoon here, but a nice move back to the upside. I mean, there were some headlines that were coming out of the Middle East, positive ones finally, or somewhat positive in the sense that some of the hostages, it looks like on the U.S. side, were being released. So that's always good. Yeah, still down slightly here for Google, Microsoft, Apple across the board as we saw.
Good thing I actually didn't hear about that, thankfully. Yeah, there was a minor headline today. It had to do with the 6 gigahertz band that the FCC is now allowing the big tech players to use. And essentially what it's going to do, it's going to allow smaller, low-frequency devices like augmented reality glasses, virtual reality headsets, to be able to communicate with one another without actually having a Wi-Fi hotspot with which to connect. This is good for gaming, obviously, but it's also good for other more practical purposes like emergency surgery that has to be done on the fly or first aid. We'll see how they do and how they benefit from that, Brendo.
Yeah, I was mentioning look at market. Even Meta was holding up a little bit better than the rest. Fast forward about 6 hours or so, and we're still seeing Meta holding up a little bit better than the rest, back to basically break even here.
Yeah, it's definitely the strong one. I was about to, as the market was turning over, I was going to go to a weaker one. Again, like the last few days have not been pretty. Just very quickly on Amazon here, it is rolling over a little bit, as you can see. It never got back to pre-market highs and support levels, so the lower high on Amazon is well beneath any previous support. If you look at the range, the last time it was down here, it bounced off 125, had resistance at 27. So this feels, like underneath 27 in this pocket, the 14.8. I'm looking at Amazon as something I like. Sean's in Softy. I think Softy also profiles Microsoft. I think that profiles a similar way, like it's underneath the 330 level. So I think you want something. As we're rolling underneath this 14.8, it seems to me like you want a big cap tech name, which is underneath the last week's support levels if it can be. That's why my eyeballs are on Amazon. I'm oddly enough short all chip names again. This happened at a point in the morning, and I kind of didn't realize it, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Like if it sets up, it sets up. But I like Amazon here. It seems like it's pretty weak underneath underneath 2% on the day. It's double down what the NASDAQ is at this point. So in front of 127, I like it. To the 126 half, that's looking like an entry to me. All the better if we test 14.8, fail it, then I want short this for sure.
I'm just, I mean, I've been trading everything today. I've traded Amazon, AMD, Microsoft, Oracle on that dip down. Current position, let's just talk about it right now because we just got some more shares. So we're short AMD. We like the semis, but they're coming up next. We're just short Microsoft again. It's a VWAP play. We've done it once, twice, thrice. So we're up on Microsoft, but again, everything is always position pending. Right now, nice little flush. Don't know what's happening with this tech name, but this tech name here, AMD. As here we go. Now we're starting to get going. Now, okay, Microsoft. We just went short 60. It's just dropping down. We'll take 30 cents. We only got it once. We got it twice. Actually, we got 2 fills down there, I believe. There it is right there. So we get another fill at 28. So 2 fills right there. Now we're pushing back in. We're bidding 328.11. And again, just more of the same, man. Just try to fade these plays. The NASDAQ right here, IB low. It's right here right now. We just bounced off VWAP as well. Nice candle down. You have to take advantage when you have to take advantage when you see stuff like this, and here I am explaining it. But here we go. There goes AMD. We are really starting to get some nice moves into the downside. Let's go. Let's spin it for everybody that's watching. We just right now, you guys just saw what scalping's all about. We went short on VWAP right in front of you. Like as I was talking, we take that trade. And then as I'm talking again, we just make 70 cents on the downside. So thanks for that, Ramin. Fabian dropping down this money as we speak, unless it's Sharif at the big desk. But here we go. Microsoft, nice move to the downside right now. So, we're getting a little bit excited, but I do feel that heading into the close today, I just think we want to remain net short. Okay, thanks for that, Ramin.
That was Ramin.
Thanks for that, Ramin. But we do want to stay net Sharif, we do want to stay net short into this. So the only thing failing is not these trades. It's our graphics board around here. So so far so good. We'll wait.
What is it?
Amazon, they all have earnings next week, pretty much, right?
Oh,
so
most of them.
That's where I'm thinking that if we do, first of all, come on down, Microsoft. You're the next contestant on Who Wants to Tank This Market.
Bring it on down to Tankville.
Bring it on down to Tankerville. It's back now, Saturday Night Live.
That's my favorite all time.
That was a pretty good impression.
Maybe not all
right there,
time.
actually.
I love those, man. Like the
Because it was Lickerville.
bring it on down to Lickerville.
Yeah, they need Justin Timberlake back on
Justin
that,
Timberlake
man.
was fire on those.
Classic.
What is that guy even doing now? It doesn't. Whatever. What are we talking about?
What do you mean, what's he doing now? He's sitting on stacks of money. Man.
I know,
That guy
but he's funny.
He's just like, what boat is he on right now? Whose yacht? Well, that guy's doing whatever the hell he wants.
Bump land. I'm on a boat.
Oh, there's a really good movie coming out this weekend, eh? The DiCaprio, Scorsese one? What's that called? Brendan, you know that movie coming out? Scorsese, DiCaprio? Is it called The Killer? No, I don't know what it's called, but anyways. I was only thinking about like all these guys that are chilling, like DiCaprio's one of those other guys as well. But
Yo, that guy
someone's going to say what it was. We'll figure it out. Flowers Moon. That's what it is. It was
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, it was a weird name. Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah.
That's a very weird name.
No, but it looks really good. I think it'll be.
Killers of-
I think it'll be a classic right there.
All right, crypto time. It's I don't know why I'm excited about that, but let's talk about crypto. We tagged 30,000. We actually broke through it, come right back down. It's been chilling around 29.5 or so all day long. You good? All right, cool. Here's Coinbase rolling over with the overall market right now, but not much to do. I mean, there was a nice, maybe an attempt at a long this morning, but not much to do here today for Coin.
Yeah, it touched 30,000 before I left the house this morning, but hasn't been able to really reclaim its sense. In case you're wondering what this whole big move was, it looks as if it was a chief legal officer of Coinbase who went on CNBC yesterday and said, it's just a matter of time until we see that spot Bitcoin ETF. We know that last week was a deadline for the SEC to file an appeal for their loss against Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and they didn't do that. So one thing though, Brendo, you and I talked about this morning, the halving event for BTC, where you're going to get less for mining. So it's going to be, it's going to be a tougher road and more scarce.
Ramin is
he's always giggling,
sending nonsense in our chat about Justin Timberlake. Oh man, that's not a great look though. I have to be honest.
Ram.
Oh, is it going to play? Why is it not playing? So this is what Ramin just sent everybody. This is what Justin Timberlake was up to. And like she's saying this is bad. This is not his best moment, obviously. Yeah, he's got way more talent than that.
That's
Come
like
on.
fake Justin Timberlake. You know how there's like there's fake Drakes running around and everything.
No,
like that?
anybody's seen
that's fake.
anybody's seen that dude perform. Like he's got skills. It is what it is. You know what it is?
Fake news.
No, it's actually, and this is probably pretty true. It's probably very difficult to have the same balance, dexterity, and coordination when you have all those stacks just everywhere in his pocket. So understandably so, he probably doesn't have the same balance and feel to it. He just needs to relieve himself some of that coinage. If you want to do that, Justin, holla at me, and that'll help you.
Yeah, you can advertise here.
You definitely can, anytime. First of all, I don't care what anybody
He also
says.
is 40 years old, I would believe. He's somewhere around 40.
Exactly.
I mean, I can still dance up a storm.
Let's be real for a second.
I mean,
Before we get on this hater.
No, there's no, I make Justin Timberlake look silly in that movie.
Yeah, wait till
You don't know crip walking and shit like that. It's over. It's over, man. You know what I mean?
I'll pay money. I'll
discriminating.
pay money to crip. To see
I
crip walk.
ain't discriminating.
I'll tell you this right now. Crip walking has happened on that stage. Thankfully, there's not cameras everywhere. Coinbase didn't trade it. Didn't see an opportunity. I would have shorted it for 1,000,000% sure. I would have shorted it if it taken out the high today, but it didn't. Like I had my eyeballs set on I had my eyes set on anything above 78. Just thought this news could break it out. It never happened. Complete and utter inside day in Coinbase, so there was no trade for me. While all that was going on, I just want to point out, I did take this obvious out on Intel at 35 because like last time Intel was here, it was a 36. It opened at 36.40, and in a matter of minutes was down to like 35.07. So if it bounces off this, then that's all. It's a reason enough to get out when you see extreme levels like that. Frustrating one for me because I was actually stopped out this morning, but I got back into it underneath the last couple of days bottom here. So you always got to find those reloads, but I did take some out in front of 35, want to hold on to these shorts, but Coinbase was a huge nothing burger after all that news and hoopla. We didn't hold that 30,000 on Bitcoin. When 30,000 breaks, I'm sure there's going to be lots of trades to be had. But today was a nothing burger for Coinbase and the crypto names.
I mean, whatever, man. Dancing, trading, whatever you guys want to do. We'll have one more.
Another one.
And then we just gave you one.
Another
and then hopefully we'll be dancing and do
one.
another one. I mean, look at this. There's Microsoft. It's now $1.50 in the money. These guys were hitting the bangs and dropping the money when we were, yeah, exactly. What? Huh? Oh, Travolta, that guy's a dancer too. Man, I mean, that's Pulp Fiction. Well, we can throw down some of that. We were talking about that last
Saturday
year.
Night Fever.
Oh, no, it just keeps going on.
Yeah.
I just like that scene with him and Uma there.
That's
in the,
classic, man.
In the diner there. But yeah, Grease. I mean, come on. Where is that Travolta thing? Come on.
I mean, now, I don't know.
Who is it?
He's definitely not busting moves now. That's for damn sure.
No. We talked about being 40. How about being 80? No. How old do you think Travolta is? 60?
60, I was going to say
5-ish?
67, going on Steven Seagal. That's about right.
Let's see. Travolta.
Mid-60s is about right.
Ooh, a 69er.
69.
Not bad. That's pretty good. He's got a little bald head there. That's
He's
pretty good.
born in Jersey?
Him and Springsteen, baby? Him and Brucey?
That wouldn't have been my guess, but it doesn't matter. It's just,
Anyways, there goes.
the Wikipedia up.
There goes. Oh, crypto. Yeah, we're not trading crypto right now. We just got Microsoft, nice little short there off VWAP. So, like I said, man, these are, we hashtag, we were talking about real trading and stuff like that. You're going to see reasons why later on. But the other main point is that if you're trading bigger names, there's always going to be different ways to trade them. So, like right now, this is $1.50 in the money. So if you are trading with options, zero date expiry, things like that, I mean, this is, right now, going short from 329, bringing us all the way down into 327. Like that's the kind of stuff that, I know that there's a lot of you guys looking at as well. We'll be scalping out like NEO. We'll be happy taking 10 cents on NEO. We'll be happy taking like, maybe smaller amounts of money on different names, Rivian, or what do you have, ARM, like different plays that don't move as dramatic. But when you're looking at big tech right now, and we're just now starting to, get through some of this Fed speak, some of these names can really, really get going. So I'm pretty happy to be able to watch these fall through. So we've got $1 in the money on Microsoft, and we also have 75 cents. Oh, okay, see, this is why, like, you see that, and immediately I just put a bid. Okay, there we go, we got it out, thank God. It just came right back in, so it's kind of lucky that I flipped over right back into this area one more time for AMD. So I know we're gonna talk about semis in a minute, but SEDG, ouch. Sedged. Ouch.
Transition. Bang. Okay.
Brendan.
Let's make it.
Wait for it. Eventually they'll figure it out. Yeah, solar in a big way, ouch. Downside for SEDG. After the close yesterday, they come out with preliminary results that not good. Straight from 115, we'll call it, to 84 bucks, and we've been kind of hanging out there all day. I mean, there was a flush off the open, bit of a bounce, but they actually report coming up in a couple of weeks, November 1st, so I guess they're getting it out of the way early.
Yeah, they're letting you know their preliminary results not looking good. Gross margins down, operating income down, miss on revenue. And they warned that solar demand in Europe, likely in North America as well, very, very weak. Again, I talked about it this morning. This was kind of foreshadowed by Tesla's earnings when they said solar installations were down 48% year over year, but capacity, their storage capacity so that you can actually store the energy coming in on the panels, up 90% year over year. So if you're looking for a play, look for that.
Heavy volume, obviously. Downside today on this move. I was going to zoom out a little bit here, but our charts are a little slow. So it's been a long time since we've been down here anyways, guys, for this one.
It was exactly, well, okay, maybe not exactly, but on the weekly chart, you're looking at March of 2020. Now, I can't think of what was going on in March of 2020, why this would have made a bottom down there. But whatever it was probably really disruptive to the world and really sucked for everybody. But that was the last time we were here in the 70s. That's exactly where we bounced, a couple of dollars away from it on Sedge. And that's why you can have something this incredibly weak that does this off of the open. Now, the problem here is, like, that bottom was about 68 and a half or so. So I was looking for 70. Like, it's one thing to be out in front of the level by a buck or something on a $70 stock. It's another thing to be $4 or $5 out in front of the level to go for the long, but that's where it ended up making a huge bounce and relief rally. Like, if you're shorting something like this, if some hedge funds leaning on it, or someone has a big position, like, the 2020 bottoms, you're not taking profit if you short this thing from the hundreds, 200s, and you're not going to take profits there. So it was very strong off the open. And as a matter of fact, it was very strong throughout lunchtime as well, holding on to the 80 level. We were mentioning how it held on to this during lunch money, and I was looking for a retest. Like, at that point, I wanted underfills under VWAP to go long off of 78 and then look for the other stair step up. It didn't even do that. It just continued to go higher. I feel like the trade's probably done here. If you're looking for what's next, I mean, Enphase obviously is going to be reporting. I forget exactly what day. Sean will know because he looked it up this morning and I didn't. So Enphase is coming next. Sometimes things have gone so bad and flushed so far that, like, the worst is done. Like, we saw what happened the day after UAL's nonsense. AAL was actually pretty strong the following day because it had been down on sympathy. But Solar Edge, trade's probably done here. Good recovery, but the story is the absolute hwadunk. This is the kind of fall where usually you get some stabilization in the next coming days and weeks. Wow, if you had that one short overnight, congratulations. Like,
yeah, we were talking about Enphase. I mean, everything. TAN. I want to look at just the ETF. Oh, you know what? Someone was talking about, I just saw it in the chat, as a super SPAC man, I believe, talking about First Solar. First Solar is the best of the bunch. There's no doubt about that. First Solar, if you're going to look at the chart, it actually doesn't look nearly, I mean, it looks bad. I mean, the solar area has been getting pummeled, but it's not as bad as the rest of them. You are coming into another area of support here for FSLR. Again, I don't know enough about the business, but this is holding right here, 140. So I feel like if you're going to buy something, this has been the best name. It's actually producing pretty well. You're still up from sort of last October, a year ago today, you're at like 120, you're at 150 right now. You did move all the way up to 230. That's been a good little play there, as opposed to like an ENPH that I tweeted out about this earlier today as well. It's been pretty disastrous, right? I mean, look at where this was a year ago, right? So First Solar is up on the year, barely, right? Here's October for First Solar last year. I mean, sure, there's wicks here, but either way, you're around 270 to 300 a year ago today, and now look where we are right now, back down through $100 again. Kind of looks a little bit like some crypto names back in there. I just think you're going to have to really, really trust solar names, and honestly, more work needs to be done there. I like the Fisker Ocean because they have that solar panel on the roof there, Randy. So that was something that was pretty exciting to me. Ain't that Randy? Ain't it? Yes.
In the Volkswagen
Real Randy and ain't that Randy?
You know it's cold in here when
Randy-
this guy's wearing a hoodie.
I gotta chill.
And I'm freezing right now. This is ridiculous.
Well,
Somebody
what's
turned on-
ridiculous is you
somebody
were
turned on
complaining
the,
about being cold yesterday, and I see
I-
you walk in here with this thing on.
I left my I forgot my sweater in the car today. I don't want a coffee in the afternoon. Like I can't. I'm one of
take one.
those I can't drink coffee in the afternoon people.
I'll take one.
I don't sleep as well. That's what it is.
Yeah,
I know you'll
sleep
take.
like a baby. You know,
Randy will wear shorts
thinking about missing
in the winter.
trades and-
Like it's crazy.
put my head on that pillow. You know, oh, Microsoft, why do I not have thousands of shares short at 329?
I remember those days. I find the saving grace for me. I stopped
not thinking about
I
it.
stopped dreaming about trading when my daughter was born, and I think it has something to do with I don't know, like maybe sleeping patterns change when you have a kid. And
We were
I
so
find-
lucky that I didn't miss a night of sleep.
I don't even
like,
know.
Honestly, I don't know how either, man. My wife was just like, the babies slept either in our room or near us for a little while. Boom, they fussed. Boom, they went right over. It's no problem. I didn't, and I sleep pretty strong, but
Wouldn't like that for
we were so lucky, man. We were so lucky. And then I'll have to ask her. Maybe I don't know, get Marissa in the chat. I don't know, but it was really, really lucky. And some kids.
No, it's like they're all different.
Yeah.
It changes your habits, and I found that I had to like actively find ways to when I hit the hay fall asleep faster. That's why I like to wear a Whoop. I do like the make sure it's not too hot. Like every little trick you're supposed to do to fall asleep right away, I do them all nowadays.
Like windows open in the fall is so nice, man. Windows
helps.
open. Who sleeps with the windows open?
If it's too hot, you're not going to get to sleep the same way. There's like you can do like the weighted blanket thing. I like to have a heavier blanket as well.
Yes, weighted.
What are we supposed to? Oh, we did. Set up the semis so we can talk about them. We forgot to do that, didn't we?
Sure. I don't know. Did you look at chips there?
I did. Yeah. I did look at. Thanks for putting me on the spot. Yeah, not much of a move here. AMD, the best of the bunch right now, down 0.61. Again, they're reeling off the news headline that we got earlier in the week about the Biden administration looking to extend the chip ban. The A800, the H800, those were all chips that were made to be exported to China by NVIDIA. Those are now subject to the ban. It's going to affect margins. It's going to affect their total addressable market. We'll have to see how they do the rest of the year.
Yeah, the other angle here this morning was we were talking about yields when it comes to tech and chips, obviously, in that group as well. We had the 10-year breach 5 for the first time since 2007. I was just checking. 4.9243 right now for the 10-year. The 2-year 522, the 30-year looks like it's going to be the first red daily candle in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we did get above 5.1 on the 30-year as well. So I mean, yields obviously the big story here as far as tech in general is concerned. Chips obviously fall under that, but finally might get a bit of a downtick here today, guys. It looks like for some of the yields.
Look what happened over here. We got a coffee. This guy has, you found the secret stash, eh?
When you eat your Smarties, you
right,
eat the red
cheers.
ones last. There we go. Well, I'll fist bump. That's better.
I'll fist bump the cheers,
we
the Smarties. I'll take a coffee and have some of these later. All right. I mean, by later, I mean 15 seconds from now. Okay, so AMD were short.
Probably. There we go.
Yeah, but by the way, the Bears been still pretty solid there today. But I see what you
You're
did.
still good.
I see what you did.
Still
You just
good.
copied what I did, right? I see what you did.
He makes his own plays. Randy knows what's up.
And Randy, yeah.
This morning, so first off, AMD is not the strongest chip name. I just want to point out, we don't usually, Micron's not the most heavily traded name or the name of interest for a lot of people, but this is actually up on the day. So relative strength is in Micron. I've got a nice little trend line drawn because the way this has been trading, the volatility hasn't been there. The drawdowns haven't been there. If it holds this trend, next time it gets into this trend line, I'm thinking this could be an interesting buy on Micron, just from like a value perspective, in the way that it's operating in this downtrend. So that out of the way, nobody's actually traded it today, I don't think. This morning there was a point where I was short all three of these chip names at the same time and was like, oh, I should get out of one of them because there's no point. That one was AMD. That was the wrong decision. But we're back into it. It was a bad decision. I was in ARM, Intel, and AMD. And at the time, AMD looked the strongest. So I covered it and said, I'm in the other two. They're going to go to the downside. That's fair enough. That was a bad decision. I actually ended up making top wick. The other two flushed. I did not re-enter until right here, like yesterday in the afternoon. The top was 102.70. That wick there, when it broke highs, I went after the 103. A couple of times short there, and now holding it to the end of the day, to the low of the day. ARM was about the 50 break, but as you can see, I did not get the 50 break, unfortunately. Had to short it at 48.5. That's where it first consolidated. Let me show you the 3-minute chart. So the first available bounce was $1. It was a $2 drop from 50. That was the first bounce on ARM. And we're able to short that at about 48.5 into the lows. I re-entered under 47, and then that bottomed out at 46.5, stopped out, shorted VWAP twice. One worked, the other didn't, and then waited for it to get right back into the original price that we shorted it, which we're sitting in now. So it's above VWAP, but it's in the money. And I showed Intel, short that, it just tagged 35 even, so took profit there. Trust the teal. TSM is the best one here. You know what? I didn't look at TSM. It's entirely possible it's having a better day than no, it's not having a better day than Micron. But it was a good short if you shorted that too. Micron really stands out today. It really stands out. To be up today, that's impressive for any chip name.
Here's my watch. So we're short AMD, man. We were long, we were short, we flipped it over at one. We were short on AMD, sorry, I was talking to the professor. We were short on AMD, we were long on AMD, short down there through 103. That was a good trade. Came back up to 103 again, we shorted that. Again, we wrote down here 105, so it's been a little tough to wait for that as Microsoft pulling back in, so that's all good. Yeah, here's like a little watches that I have here for my charting. Like Roblox positive. Again, it's not going to load up on here because it's linked up top. Uber's positive right now. Coinbase.
Roblox.
You mentioned Micron. Square, which is Block, of course, is positive as well. What's this? Starbucks. Yeah, so there it is. So just out of everything that I look at, and it's quite it's just kind of like the top 30 or 40 kind of like techie names. I mean, we have like Ubers in there and stuff like that. But either way, yeah, 3 positive. They're right there. Micron, Roblox, Starbucks, and Uber, and then of course we've already touched on why Coinbase is up with Bitcoin moving around as well. But yeah, AMD right back into the day's low again here. So we just took a piece off. You saw me sort of panic to get to that because we realized that we were down here. So we'll wait for a little bit lower. Hopefully that will come in right now. So I like that. And then I haven't looked at NVIDIA. It's so funny because NVIDIA was such a good trade for me. A couple, like when we actually look at it, and I think it was off earnings, we were going like long and short around 500, and then we were looking at it at 450, and really haven't looked at it in the last couple days, and it's been kind of a shame. Oh yeah, there we go, I'm missing the data too on that one right there. But if you sort of look at where we're at for NVIDIA, Sharif mentioned earlier today, and I sort of told him that it was about 20 to 25% down. This is their last earnings. Record earnings, one of the best reports. I mean, go back to Twitter feeds on August 23rd and see what everyone's saying about NVIDIA. Huge move up. We were live on the air on that day, obviously throughout the day, and then on the recap show as well. And it was like, wow, go, go, go. And that's when it was Chris Bretcher from Simpler Trading that was covering some of his NVIDIA longs in the aftermarket. He was telling us about how to do that, even though he had calls. And then look at that, man. You're now down about, I mean, it's $100. So let's call it like it is. That's 515. You're at 415. But that's, again, it's a pre-market, so it's kind of, but you know, it wouldn't be green if it didn't close, right? So 513.
I don't trust our charts.
Neither do I. I don't know what the highest intraday high was there. I think it was like 505 or something. But either way, you're down $100 on a $500 name, right? So you're back down 20%, just like that, on a great report from NVIDIA. So I am very, very nervous, guys, about losing the SMH at 140. We've talked about that with me looking more and more into ETFs. It's like the new transports are chip names, are these semis, and oh, that's right. It had that breakup as well. Holding that 140 right there, we've been back into it a couple times. Really like to see us hold one more time. I think this is something that you could buy, this or stock sell, if we continue to go down. But make sure you smash that QR code there for trade ideas. They have that
Oh, let's put some.
What's it called? That new trade ideas? It's $11.
The test drive.
Test drive.
The test drive.
The fast drive.
No, you get access to everything for like $11, and then
you get 20%
you throw in
off
the
too.
Trader TV 20. You get the 20% off that. So essentially, it's like $9. That's pretty
Gets
sweet
you all
deal.
those scanners, the charts.
We use it all the time. Like I was actually just using it on Nvidia.
Right,
Like,
there
so
you
I
go.
have like some symbols I like and what's moving the most. And I have a couple of things on my layout. This is just one where I have my higher time frame charts. You can set alerts. I can look at like. This is a kind of a fun one. The name of this is ridiculous. High of the day Momo scanners. So you can figure out what that might mean.
Look at all those scanners.
So XRTX. I didn't start my race today because I wasn't. There was zero focus on small caps for me, but this XRTX, you can already see that running. I have up gappers in the morning and down gappers, just so that we're never missing anything. If you wonder, like, how do you build a list of things to watch? Well, you have a source like this that helps you when you sit down in the morning and throughout the day. Like when I'm going through like lunch money, I'm using this every single day to make sure that I'm not missing something or a trading opportunity. I have some other things like pulling back into VWAP's a great one in the middle of the day to be able to play with. And you can customize a lot of things as well. But you mentioned Roblox, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say Roblox 32. So Roblox, the last few days, Roblox, first of all, it's been very strong. Roblox going into the 32 level. But if you look at this sucker on a daily, look at this stock on a daily, sucker. If you look at this thing on the daily, after its quadunk, it is trying to fill in the gap. Huge bounce off 25. It's already topped. This is 32 the first time. It just tagged it for a second time yesterday. And look what has happened at this level. That's a significant price level. If this market is going to catch a bid, Roblox through yesterday's high is a long. Now it's resistance till it's not. And if we roll lower, I probably take a shot at the short if it gets to that 32. But wow, what a big level on Roblox. I wrote this off because this morning, obviously everything had fallen. We're down around 31. There's no chance I actually realized this had made that move, but another reason why you keep things up on the scanner. It does feel like we're rolling over, so I'm actually thinking this should be a short off 32 first, but big level there for Roblox.
So I was just sitting there on Microsoft, and we wound up taking that out right there at 327. Not it out, 327.09. We just took another piece. We were waiting down here near 326.50, so we will give up a little bit there just to get some out. It's only 2:30, so there is a good possibility that the market continues to make a move down. But like we just were down here, and all of a sudden I'm like watching my net. Everything's good. You shouldn't really watch your net, but that's like I don't have that many positions, so I have 3. And all of a sudden, this happened. I wasn't even on Microsoft. Spiked all the way to 327.50, broke the 200 period, and I was like, uh-oh. And if you look at the futures, it also made the same move. So, whoa, we don't need that up right now. So easy to look back and say, like, wow, where we are now, that was just a bump up. You should have held it. But that kind of scared me a little bit there, thinking that we had hit sort of the bottom of the range. But now here we go, pulling back in, and the money just is coming in on the short. So I feel that with this, we've talked about it, right? Unfortunately, the world is what it is right now, and I don't think that being long is the greatest position heading into the weekend. I'm always net long. I'm not getting out. I don't have any swing trades on or anything like that. I barely do some of that stuff. But as far as like my longer term positions, I'm not getting out of anything, and I did not buy more Oracle at lunchtime. I didn't buy anything. I just feel like if we're going to do anything, we said that we would make a move after last earnings season. We did. And then now we're going to wait to see what happens this earnings season. So let's just let everything breathe a little bit coming in. Obviously, we just talked about what oil was doing. I think Brennan might have brought that up as we opened the show. I think it was moving down. Yeah, so now down 1. So that's a little bit better. Again, energy and housing, such a big, huge piece of CPI. But again, I think the Fed is already done. They're already done talking about what's going to happen for November. It's pretty much, where's the Fed rate tool? It's 100%, isn't it? I mean,
it's just, at this time it's close enough too that pretty much everyone's now looking to the next meeting.
I thought it was like 98%.
The following meeting, like not next meeting, but the December. And even the chance that it could be like next year. It's just the chance. They don't need to do anything. Like you've seen what's going on with yield. That's trickling down. So is it all? Yeah, it's already at 96.
Yeah, but look, it's going the other way. Come over to my screen right now. It never used to be any chance of a cut. Look at that. Hey, Brendo, did you see that? 4% chance of a rate cut now. That's interesting. It's never the first time.
It's never 100%.
No, but it was always
usually the other way.
Right. There was always like It used to be like 60% no cut, 30% chance of a raise.
Yeah, and if it got to 98.99, it would be like no and raise. This time it's the other way around.
I know we had Frank on, and this we already talked about all this, but yeah, with the different move in rates, it's interesting to see it's this way now.
They're not cutting. That's ridiculous.
No. I don't even know why that's like that. December as well. Let's just go have a quick look here at December. So same way. See, there's still a chance for a hike in December. So no chance now, apparently, but there still is one. So imagine they somehow get a hike when no one's expecting it in November 1st. That would be, that's not a Halloween, that's a trick and a treat right there.
That would be cool.
That's going to be something pretty spicy.
Don't do it, Jerome.
Coming through. Jerome will not do that, will he? I mean, I don't think Jerome has ideas of doing that. Market recap, I'm trying to hit this.
There it is.
There it is right now. He will not let us know ahead of time, but you know, you could definitely join us here.
If you wanted to, like that's on him, not us.
We're literally going to have the number.
It's not our problem.
Well, no, it's going to be my problem soon. I mean, I'm going to have to refinance some stuff. But the thing is that you're going to have, honestly, no better spot to watch out for. So put in your calendar right now, November 1st, 2 o'clock. We will literally have the rate dropping for you as it drops. And then we'll be sitting here discussing gold markets, crypto markets move a lot. Then we'll probably have Frank. I don't know what day that's coming through, but if he's available,
we get him twice a week. So
day after. It's going to be one of those days coming in, right? So it's going to be absolutely the best spot to come through. Make sure you do that.
It's the only place where when we have Fed, we have speakers, when you have now earnings, you're not just going to get, oh, this is the higher level. We can always talk about the macro aspect, but we're also going to be able to look at what's going on and how the market's reacting to it live and like what traders are feeling and seeing and doing about it, because that's what everyone's making decisions on, right? We're all out here making decisions on this movement, so we might as well do it in real time together. So speaking of that, yay. I don't know what's going on up there.
They're hitting them. I was going to say, we didn't hit the like or subscribe one. It's literally part of a contract.
Exactly. So we did it once today, but it's been a fun day. I look up and I see 1 out of 10 of the people watching this show has hit the like or subscribe. We always have fun on a Friday. If you're short, then it's probably been a fun day today. No, that's not. We're not that one. This one.
Wow, these Fabian, these guys take their buttons away.
Show that takes you to the heart of the market every day.
Can't give you kids anything. That's what's up.
They,
although they're both my good books, they bought Timbits today. So that's absolutely fantastic. Randy came through with Smarties. Fabian and Ramin had a box of Timbits. What I was going to say is Super SPAC Man mentioned this name. It's very close to $11 even. That is CCL. Man, CCL is having a rough go of it. Since it broke 12, there hasn't been a bottom. Can it be 11? It looks very, very, obviously he said it looks heavy. I agree. It tried to bounce, double topped it right at yesterday's close and right back into the low. There has not been a green candle this afternoon on the 15-minute. That is something that you look for the short on somewhere, I think, especially with the way the market is heading to the downside. Charles Butler, thank you everybody for saying it's a nice shirt. So essentially the story behind this, because you know I never wear stuff like this, is the traders on the floor were doing this whole Floral Friday thing, which none of us were participating in and didn't really last very long. But I said to my wife, she's like, why aren't you doing it? Because I don't own anything that I could wear on a Friday. And so like way after they were done doing this, she got me this shirt. So now I wear it every now and then on a Friday. I think this will probably be the last time I do because it's cold and this is short sleeve and it's very thin. Like, this is clearly meant to be worn on a beach somewhere, which if we could trade from a beach. If we could do the show from a beach with like
soon
a
to
pina
come.
colada, that would be sweet.
Soon to come.
We actually a couple weeks ago, there was a trader, or an office owner came by with an office in Barbados. Mm-hmm. So there is a Day Trade the World office in Barbados. I look forward to visiting that one day. But yeah, $11 on CCL. I'll look to see if there's any size on there worth taking it out to the downside. Watch out for AMD kind of making a bid here, and not exactly at a random price. So once, twice, thrice off the lows here on AMD. If it doesn't hold underneath 101.80, I'm getting out. I'm going to trail this. The difference between AMD and Intel right now is AMD bouncing off the low. Intel broke the low and is continuing lower. So this one feels weaker. This feels like the one that I want to find a place to jump into more shares of. And the other is the one I will trail out of. So AMD, it's been a good ride, and the futures are bouncing off 14.7. That's the other thing. If we're high or low, if we bounce here at 14.7, if that happens, I want to trim at least one of these names. It looks like it's once again AMD. That's what happened this morning when I picked the third one. Although ARM is just as good a candidate to come out. If anything, the fact that ARM is holding up here, still hasn't rolled over. It's just very enticing. It's now a flat bottom if it takes out 47.80. If this market does go down, I don't want to be out of this because it could absolutely tank. It's the same level it dropped $1 from. So if this doesn't hold on, I feel like it should go. That's why I don't want to give it up yet, even if it looks relatively strong for now.
All right, you were just talking a little bit about covering some stuff. So we actually are doing that right now as we speak. So we just covered some AMD. I mean, AMD went right, I mean, this is the short that we have, 103. It came right in to that level. So we're short at 102.55. We've already covered. The problem is that we were short up here, 103 and change. We got more on VWAP breakdown. It was kind of just cruising there. We just sort of saw the futures try to come in a little bit. So there's the cover at the bottom of the day. We have 101.54, 101.54s. So the bottom is 101.44. So that's going to be pretty good there, as it looks to be a nice little cover spot there. So we'll hope to get a cover there. We put out some more orders. The other one that worked out, we did not get it. Oh, we did not. Okay, I thought we were getting this. We're still bidding NEO right here as well. This is from the morning. So again, I don't remember who it was. Neil was looking at NEO, and then someone said, look at NEO, it's moving around. We were in Tesla. We preferred the short there, but then we hit this up at 785, and that was a great short. So we're trying to sit here at 64 and get filled, but it's a very, very slow process, as you can see on that one. Microsoft, we already took a piece out there. It's basically at its bottoms as well, so we'll wait to see if that comes back in just a little bit more there for Microsoft. Let's check out Coinbase. Look at something a little bit new here for everybody as we go. 74 and change, okay. Worth looking to see where we can go from here. Bitcoin, yeah, I was gonna look at GBTC as well. Okay, just looking at Coinbase and what we see here. Some bounce off levels around this 74 area down to 73.50, so definitely a decent spot there. You're a little bit away from VWAP right now on Coinbase. Let me see if I can zoom this back out on a daily chart. Again, waiting for news is obviously what's happening. You're starting to coil up right now as we wait for news on those Bitcoin ETFs. But yeah, Coinbase here just on this is a 20-minute chart. Again, you would rather be near one of these extremes, and just right now you're not. So you got to get down into 74 bucks
Not here next
or
week.
up here. Yeah, so unfortunately Coinbase, although I thought it was moving around a little bit more here than it is not. We did get that NIO fill, as I guess it almost tried to break 64 there, still not much size. We will take that fill out. Uber could be moving around, I guess. Okay, Uber's not a bad one now that I see this. The problem is I want to go short, not long. Right now, Uber's back at a good area. Oh, of course, we have that stupid wick there. Oh, man. If I adjust this, anyways, Uber's pulled back right now into VWAP. So this could be, I might just take this. Hold on a second, 42.98. I don't know what the high is. Is that going to make the chart look better? There it is. Yeah, so see, pulled right back. And again, the scanner from Trade Ideas pulled right back in to VWAP one more time here is Uber. So from 43.30 high back into 43. So that's not a horrible level on Uber. Again, stupid wick. Wow, I can't believe that's still there. 43, maybe 42.60, 42.80. Okay, let's wait. I think I'd rather be short though. You know how upset you get like when you're thinking short and then you actually
Look at
go
those
long?
levels. It's like a EKG. Like that's perfect.
Yeah, up and down, yeah.
When you see a pattern like that, I think really like you can almost just wait and just take the short off the top and long off the bottom and just don't even worry about it. Like don't make it more complicated than
it's still 250, so we'll have to wait.
Yeah,
the shorting up here is 43.50, so you still got 50 cents.
Yeah, it's too far to go. That's how I feel about Roblox right now. Like I don't want to rush into something. I thought Roblox was short at 32, but I didn't pull this up until Sean looked at his watch list or his quote board and said Roblox. And when he said it, I was like, oh, I like the short at 32, but it was at 31.70 something. It's like, well, yesterday's high is 32.08. I mean, 30 cents away, that's 1% on Roblox if you're short down here. Like it's good at 90, like that's fine, but now I don't want to chase something like this. I'd almost want it to go higher for whatever reason. There was something, Palantir, that's what I was going to get to. Palantir is starting to roll over. I did try the, well, it wasn't SSR bounce, it was a 16 long. what I thought could be a failed break. It just ended up bouncing at 1580. There was nothing about, oops, I want to go to the daily chart. There was nothing about 1580 that stood out. The 50 period was a ways away there, so it kind of bounced randomly on Palantir, but it's starting to roll back over. If this doesn't hold 16 and the market wants to take out the low, I got eyeballs on Palantir as well, as that one starts to head to the downside. If ARM flat bottom breaks, I might add to that. But Roblox is the one I'm thinking it could go. Yeah, we'll look at some names if you want.
$16 again?
Araceli. Yeah, but Palantir was at 18 on Wednesday.
I know, that's the
like,
part about it.
It's wild, and it was actually looking very bullish. Like, if you think about what Palantir was doing compared to other tech names, like Palantir was looking very, very good about a week ago. And then like everything else, it's pulling back. And now the trend is still actually pretty solid here. It's holding the 50 period. But I just saw in the chat Araceli asking about crowd. Sure, we'll look at some CrowdStrike. I can't say that I don't think I've ever traded it, maybe once on earnings, I doubt it. Load. I was about to go to my trade ideas. So first things first, everything is pulling back. Valuations on cybersecurity names, they've been high for a while. You've seen Palo Alto pull back. We were talking about that on Tuesday or Wednesday, one of the days this week. And it's probably very, very healthy. Like, this has been stair-stepping up. And every single time it's broken out, it hasn't really, like, there's one instance where it actually lasted more than a month. Usually you'll go less than a month and it'll find a top and it'll pull back, and it's been very orderly. And you throw in the fact that it's getting right back into some pretty distinct highs from 2022, from last year. The 200 level is going to be a big resistance. I could see this getting back to the 50 period easily if what I think happens in the market does come to pass, and there's no reason why this can't be at the 200 period moving average. And I'm looking at PanW in the same respect, looking for, because I want to dip buy the stock, I'm in it, but I want to dip buy dollar cost averaging into it. I'm not at the point, I want to wait for one more quarter before I'm automatically buying every single month. So I'm kind of waiting for the next report. I'm going to get to AMD in a quick second, but higher lows have been put in by crowd, but I'm always wary of something when the stair step up fails previous support. So you can see it break the flat bottom, then you see it roll over before it can get back to previous support. So it looks like a good stair step up today, but that feels like a weak move. And I'm looking at the bigger picture, and underneath that 101.5, that was just a short. It broke down from there. If it can't get back above there, I'd almost think fade until it breaks that top. When it reaffirms the breakdown level, then it gets pretty bullish. Speaking of bullish, AMD wicked me out, so I'm now out of that one. Off the lows. It's now a triple bottom on AMD in the same place it's been holding. Like the entire week, AMD has been holding the same level, this 101.50. If this gets taken down, I mean, like if AMD gets, if this gets taken down and the futures break the low, is AMD not going to see 100 today? Like, but it's holding the level, so I'm out. But it's been holding this level all week long. This is going to be a wild one when it breaks it. The annoying thing is it'll probably like gap the level over the weekend if it's going to break, as opposed to break now when we can trade it.
I'd like to get into, yeah, I don't know about AMD. I mean, it bounced off that 101.50 so nicely there. I mean, obviously the futures are going to have to go. It's bouncing around 14,700 right now, so that's going to be temporary problem. I just looked at Microsoft. I'm going to get out if it breaks above this 327.50. I mean, we were just looking at the NASDAQ one more time, and I mean, it's coming. This is just a 30-minute chart. You know, you got to go all the way back here. This is the beginning of October right this day. But, you know, back into October 3rd, October 6th. These are all levels that we've already seen before, and some nice bump back up to the upside here, hitting us off of that non-farm payroll number, and then just coming back in right now, holding support down here. That ultimate bottom is 14.6 back in September. So, you know, we're only 100 points away from that, and I think, yeah, if you break some of these levels of the downside, then there is going to be a little bit of a problem, which is why right now I feel like you're in almost like a no man's land. You want to hold your shorts, which is what we're doing, but at the same time, I don't know. We could get a little bit of a relief rally because the market still is down 1.16%. It's been a negative week, so we are looking for something to do here. Uber, we talked about Uber buying it. That would have been a great buy off VWAP. We were just down there. It'd only be 15 cents, but it is making a move back up. The name that I want to short on a real move, if we can get it, is going to be Google. I mean, I like Google up here at that 137 level. We were looking at 138s earlier. We actually wrote down on the sticky note 138, but that came right at 9:45. So we should have had that. Again, it's a sticky note name. We were looking at it, should have had it, and don't. So yeah, that kind of sucks for that. But I like this. If it pulls back up, I think it's a level and a stock that we're going to like to take short up at 136. Microsoft just comes out right there, so that's $1 and change on that trade. So that's 328.68 out 327.50. That was the break. So good trade there, but out. So there's no doubt we're out of that one. We did get our Neo. And like I said, I don't really want to reload anything until we really start to move again. So my best trade for right now is waiting for that Google up at 137.
Yeah, now that the market's bouncing, I think that this Roblox 32 is going to come into play. Let's see what happens. I mean, you're getting a decent bounce off that 14.7. I think that's what, if you look at that higher low, it's the obvious even level, given that we fail 14.8 now. So if we get up to that top, I'll probably take one shot shorting it. If it breaks out 32.10, I think you get, at a minimum, I'm giving it up and even thinking about reversing into a long if the market looks like it's going to be good. I did want to just maybe go back over. A lot of times we give up on the Chinese ADRs in the afternoon because it's like, you know, they're not moving, they're not going to do anything. Then I look at Alibaba, which it just can't seem to get away from 80 bucks. Like even when it looks like it's going to fall apart, like a couple of wicks under 80, 79.80, 79.75, 79, you know, 80 again, and then double top. If it breaks out this VWAP at 80 and a quarter, I don't see why this couldn't go. It's been getting destroyed on the daily, but it's kind of trying to bounce off major support levels on the daily chart as well when you look at this thing. So it's almost like the selling has been exhausted down here, and it just needs something to punch it through. If that's the case, I think a bit of a relief rally could be in play for Alibaba. So I got my eyeballs on this. If it can take out VWAP, get above the quarter, this looks interesting for a long there. You're in Alphabet, right? Or
No, I was waiting for it to go a little bit more. I took Amazon.
because that's also in a second when this loads. There you go. And you're just looking for things that are kind of getting back into VWAP. Like it's obviously it's struggling today. It was above VWAP and then got taken out, so that's not a fantastic thing. But I'm looking for ones that can get above. This is trying. Apple actually is trying as well. But yeah, we're already starting to roll back over. All right, I got to get over to Roblox here.
Yeah, we just, yeah, I'll let you go to that. We'll just take it right now. We just took Amazon. It's 20 cents now in the money. Neil just asked about what we were in. And we looked at, I did look at Google for sure, but I found another name that was a little closer. Yes, sir. That's 20. Yes, sir. Thank you, Fabian, hitting it. Yeah, I know what graphics Fabian likes now. But there it is. We just hit that. So there we go, man. That's another one. I mean, right there, 126.10. You see where we're short? It's at 90s now, and here we go. Yes, so we do get out of Microsoft, but we put it on. We're up more now with this current position, obviously, than we were on Microsoft. Yes, sir. Nice little dip down in right there. We were just looking. Again, it's not a full position. If it came up to 30, we would have had a little bit of a different story there, but it didn't. So there's a nice pullback and then a nice little shot into the arm right back to the upside. But what is this level, 77? I mean, honestly, if we can start to take some of these levels out, we'll do that. So let's put a bid down there again. We got an O's for 10 cents. We got 90s for 20. Let's get 80s for 30 if we can. And then just wait for Amazon. We already hit it once there, downside. So the most we got here was pretty short at 50 again. All the way down. Our best fill is 05, 06, that's 40 cents. And then we got out of the rest for basically a flat trade at the end of that. So yeah, 40 cents was the most we got last time. We're in 20 now. 40 puts us at the bottom here. That's not the bottom of the day. It's close, and it's not really. The bottom is 125 flat. Here we go. Let's go. If we can get this fill at 81s, guys, wow, for that. So far, so good as this fill is going to hopefully hit for us. Is Google back up to the upside now? No. So that didn't come into play, but Amazon sure did, and that was a pretty good one there for AMZN. So let's just continue to watch it. It's now 30 cents. Oh, there it is. Did we get that? No, we did not. Oh, my God. We are at 81s there. One more push down, and we'll be able to get that fill, I believe, anyways. But either way, man, it was just there. Oh, that sucks. It went 81 was on the bid. That's happened to us before. So let's just see if we can get that fill coming through one more time. Amazon right now for the win on that last trade.
Yeah, I thought that last bounce up was going to get some things in the pocket. Roblox is not there yet. It has to be a lot tighter to 32 before I go into this one. So it's just a matter of being patient. As the market just pulled back, Roblox is still trying to head up, so we can be patient with this name. This is not the time of day when I think you want to overtrade. That can get into a little bit of trouble. What's going on with the lights over there? Intel, I said I want to get back into Intel. I'm still in it, but I mean add back into Intel on a pop. It can't even seem to get back above 35 at this point. So I'm looking to try to play this as an over 35 into the previous bottom, which is here, like 35.10. But there just hasn't even been a bounce on it. So I don't want to short the absolute low of the day, not when we're above 14.7. If we're above 14.7, then I want to be shorting some kind of a top on resistance as opposed to grabbing the bottom. Because if you short the bottom in front of support, well, then it's probably going to bounce on you, then you get a tight stop. So I have to still be patient with that one. We'll see what's up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's 3. This is about when you expect a little more velocity to come into the market. If that's the case, I think a couple of these things will start to move a little bit more. And it just comes down to like what your style might be. If you're looking at a specific set of stocks, one of the things that you can get in trouble with is, like, you might see, okay, we're bouncing off 14.7. Okay, here comes a pop, here comes a pop. I want to be fading into this. But if the stock you're looking to get into isn't moving, it could be lagging a little bit. And you might want to wait for it to make the move a little bit higher. Like, I expected Roblox with its strength to push and really press this 32 rather quickly. That just hasn't happened yet. And then the same thing with Google. Like, I actually thought Google would be the one as well, but I mean, that didn't press at all to the upside. Like, it looked like that was a strong move brewing on Alphabet, and it just did absolutely nothing. So it was going 30 cents up. I'm thinking it's going to press in here up towards 137. Instead, you're back underneath VWAP pretty much instantaneously. The one thing I got to be concerned with is ARM is now really stopped moving. So I got a good price, but like it's barely going up here. Like it went 15 cents to the upside. This thing was ripping through. It was ripping through 15 cents. You couldn't get filled on the way down before. Now all of a sudden it's barcoding. So that's not really that great for power hour, unfortunately. So I doubt I add to this. It has to break the bottom and start flushing for me to do anything with ARM. Otherwise, we're going to have to be patient with it. And then Alibaba was the other thing that I'm watching, looking to see if this can get to and break VWAP. It's moved all of 10 cents in that time. That's not going to move the needle just yet. Make sure you be patient with this. And Philip Sanchez, AXP beat on everything and reaffirmed their guidance and still tanked today. Guess you have to be big tech name to go up and up on good earnings. I don't know that that's entirely true, but if you look at what's been going on, it's not just them. If this chart even wants to load, there you go. It's not just them. Like, they've been under a tremendous amount of pressure. There is some concern when it comes to the overall economy, how long the consumer is going to be able to hold up. And I think that's weighing pretty heavily on these guys. It was a nasty sort of breakdown today, but on the butt side, 135 on AXP. We don't really try. I probably almost never trade this morning. I went over it because it was earnings and just noted one thing, and that was the 135 level. Zooming back a little bit further so you can see it's a triple bottom here. Like, you go all the way back. This is about as significant a level as you're going to find in the near term on AXP. So on the way up, it broke out here about 130, doubled at 135, made the high at 200, 135 held twice, lower high. It comes into that level. I think that's a tradable level right there. You're beneath the major moving average, so the trend is clearly against you. But if 135 comes in, like, that looks pretty solid. How many stocks look like this? This is what gets people thinking bearish. Is when you pull up a bunch of interesting stocks and everything is just absolutely chilling, looking at these bottoms with huge gaps underneath them, the first thought I think about is, well, what happens if they all start to break at about the same time? Well, I'll tell you what happens. Nothing good. That's why a lot of people can get a little bit bearish. Then you get that. Well, actually, that's not what I would have hit. I would have hit the flat bottom break. That's the one. It's this one. That's the one. You get a bunch of flat bottom breaks at the same time. What happens is stops get run simultaneously, and then the index stops get run. and then all kinds of bad things happen in the market. Here comes Roblox. It's now at 3180. This is why we were patient, looking for it to get to the high of the day. It's gladly and slowly obliging. But if I had chased that move, I'd just be out of the money 10 cents for absolutely no reason.
Alert to Brendan, we have a mover here. It is Rivian. Something's going on with Rivian. It's a huge move, straight up to the upside, basically taking out the whole day right there. It still has work to go, man. I mean, this could be nothing, who knows? But right there, Rivian up to 1705. We'll short it a little bit there because we have some of these outs. Just noticing this coming across. So,
Did you see news?
No, I don't see anything, but I didn't really look. I saw it came across on the scanner there. So we will hit that real quick and then hit it, and as they say, quit it. So there it is. We'll punch a little bit out there to get a little bit of a half piece out right there. Not a half quarter, of course, a half piece. Right there, nice move. Let's go, man. Hey. There it is again. And not only are we sitting here looking for, opportunities to hold something, but there's scalping 101 right there. No matter what kind of style you have trading, that's it. Boom, hit it and quit it. Right now to the downside, we do have I'm going to put another bid. That's a 200 period. This looks like it was news related or someone maybe, I mean, it's not really continuing up. I didn't actually even put a volume. We could put volume on here just to see. I don't have it up on this chart, but where is it here? Indicators, volume, create. Oh my God, this takes forever. Volume right there. So we'll put OK. And then we'll see what volume was just hit right there. Yeah, so nice. Well, it's bad green. You can barely see it. But right there, it is a nice little high green up spike right there, right back in to the 200 period. So we'll start topping it off, man, and just start putting in some money back into the account right now. There we go. We'll take it 88. We'll cancel our 86, and maybe it falls back in. But that's how you just scalp in and out right there. So, hey, we're trying to show many different layers of trading, right? In 21 years, we've pretty much done it all. There's another one, just a quick little scalp, as opposed to, right, like this AMD short that we're holding, that try to hold this whole way and get something out at key prices, right? Trying to do that. Get a lot out early because we have too many shares, not too many shares, but we have shares, so take profit and then try to hold and then make a play like that off of VWAP too, all the way to the downside. I mean, look at Rivian, same sector, same everything as NIO, right? And look what we did on NEO today, same thing. Nice move up, back in, take advantage of that quick spike, spiked right back up, took advantage, went short, then just emptied it out, and now we're still able to sit here and wait for a little bit more of a downside push there too. So there's Rivian, man. Hit it, quit it. That's how we like it. Right there, 1675. We'll put a bid down there and see if we can get that filled, because that would be pretty sweet. Nothing on Rivian. So
I saw nothing. I actually double checked to see if it was like a related name, so I went over and looked at, was there anything going on in Lucid? Obviously, if it was something on Tesla, we would have probably all seen it by now if it was something on Tesla. So I didn't really see anything at all. I'm sure when you get a volume spike like that, my general assumption is most times that doesn't happen without something, but in this particular case, it feels like it did really just happen on nothing. And when it's on nothing, that's exactly when you want to fade it. Like if it turned out that there was news, fair enough. Hampton's Trader, I will get to LIPO. I did grab the short. There was a curl just now, failed the lower high on Roblox, so I'm in at 79. Great year. I don't know why I'm saying that. But LIPO was a flush, apparently. I was in this one today. So remember all morning long, I was sitting in the long. It just couldn't seem to get off VWAP. I had my stop the entire time right underneath this higher low. It got stopped out. I never went back to it. And the problem with it, normally I would never take this like an out here, but I was like, this is not doing anything. I'm just going to trim because what's the point? If it's going to break the stop, I should at least get some out. Took a third out, and then look at this thing. I'm not even surprised it did this at VWAP because this is the exact place that it looked heavy. It's a 600,000 float, I want to say, or is this? I think this is the one that's either 6,000 or no. This one might have been like 3 million. Small float name, gap up at the open, catches the bid, and then volume starts tapering off and cannot seem to go. So it fails at VWAP in 250 again, and if it halted down, it wouldn't surprise me. It did not just halt down. It needs to get through 270. If this cannot get through 270, there is nothing to see here. Like I just don't see where the trade is going to be in LIPO. And the indication was right away off the open. As a matter of fact, I'm really regretting adding through VWAP. Like that was actually a mistake. But taking it out after I added was probably the only good thing I did on that stock today. I wouldn't necessarily go short it, but unless it were to hold a bit above VWAP, I would not be touching that thing. Very disappointing name today, to be sure. So I'm into Roblox. If it gets back into the 60s, we'll take some out. Get out in front of VWAP. This has been a strong stock. Scarjo Rabbit saying, check out Okta. OKTA, that is. What is with every single stock everyone wants us to look at looking this bad? Like, just, I miss the days when everyone would call it, hey, can you guys look at this stock? And it's like, boom, up 25%, taking out the highs. Let's go, it's fun. No, let's just look at something which just went 10% to the downside and is rolling over. Now, this, obviously, something has happened here. There's no question about it. I'm just going to flip my Benzinga and see if I can't OKTA, because I'm not sure you guys let me know. That's pretty nasty, obviously, on OKTA. I don't see anything. Okay. I mean, how is there nothing happening here? I didn't. I mean,
oh my God.
Like, of course there's. Okay, I haven't seen anything. I'm just going to ask Brendan, but let's go to the daily. It's SSR as of like right now. It just went 10% to the downside. It just touched the 200-period moving average, which was about as significant a level as you're going to find. When a stock does this off the 200-period moving average, that's a really good breakout swing. Just throwing that one out, just so you guys know. That's a great setup. And then look at the breakout level. 77, look at it hold on to 77, then bounce back up to a double top. Like, those types of things are fantastic. What else we got? Anybody else know the news? Heard they got hacked.
Maybe.
They got hacked.
But that seems like too big of a move. No?
Well, people get hacked all the time. That's not, is that really that big news? I guess so. All right.
I think it's where you sort of shoot first, ask questions later, probably. Like, you just don't, you don't know the extent of the hack, and then
it seems extreme.
You know, you just sort of sell your position and you hope for the best. I could see that being the case right there. You know, murder was the case that they gave me as well, but back down into their 125.60. Nice move back for Amazon. We're bidding 60. I was just saying we're bidding 67s, but there we go, we got it, okay, as it tries to grow through it right there. So good take there, so we just got some out at 67. So this is the trade that we just put on for you guys about 20 minutes ago. 126.10, now out in the 60s, so it's a 50-cent one, so we'll barbecue that one up right now. That was a good trade for sure, back in on that. AMD back into the dollar club right now, still a nice little downside move. Rivian, again, it just, actually, it bounced off 80s there. Where was I bidding on Rivian? I was bidding 77s. Okay, we can just cancel that. As by the way, Tesla was another name that I was looking at. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, Rivian's at 80 now. We'll put a bid there and see if we get it. All right, Tesla, there it is. Oh, did we I think we just got that Rivian. I'll double check. Yes, we did. All right, so Tesla fading off 213. 3:15. What time is it? 3:12. Okay. That's where the times their kids are done school. 3:15. But then they have music class after that.
Ours is 2:45.
2:45. Wow.
It's early.
Okay. So 213 right there. 213.50. That's not a bad area. I'm still thinking that again. We're into the power hour here. We're gonna find out what these market on close imbalances look like. I feel pretty red about everything here today, heading into these imbalances. Let's just have a quick look to see if people agree or not right now. Pfizer with a sell right here. These are from the broker, sitting on the floor, just giving us updates of what they're seeing. And it's just sell, 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 sell. So it's pretty big names here to the sell side. Yo, what's up, bro? Pfizer's also there. Merck is there. AT&T is there. So all millions of shares to sell. EMR, Abbott Labs with a sell, GE Enbridge with a sell, UPS with a buy. Shout out to Chris. There's some transports there. But anyways, we'll wait to see what that number is, but it is looking a little bit heavy right now on that downside. And look what's happening to Rivian, by the way. Like this is what it's about. You see the move up, right? And again, it's not a big position. Like, you're just trying to buy that bottle of wine, which, Marissa, if you're watching, funding secured. All right, what's up, Brandon?
A quote here from someone at the company, and it looks like the chief security officer has made said quote. So yeah, confirmation. It looks like some sort of hack over at OKTA.
Yeah, this is like what's happening in OKTA is one of the reasons why, like, when this starts happening, you don't, like, you look at it roll over and it gets to like a level like 80, like, you don't want to trade something like that blind, because like it just accelerates and accelerates. Now it's looking like an opportunity. Once it's disseminated more, it's not gonna. It's very unlikely a stock like this is gonna halt down. But if there's like one extreme spike and it's starting to get very, very extreme, suddenly a bounce gets really appealing. And if you can see it form a little bit of a bottom, 75 isn't that bad of a level. as I said, like I am still looking for an entry into Intel, but that's not giving it to me. Still pretty much at the money on Roblox has gone in the money 7 or 8 cents, but I want a little bit more than that before I take any out. This Okta is presenting an interesting opportunity if it can show any kind of a bid off this 75, which it isn't doing yet right now. So yeah, it's actually looking very heavy. That's not enough strength. Usually when it makes this last push down, like you want to see it holding 75 and starting to go. It's not really feeling like that at the particular moment. So I'm just going to back off this one for a while. It did look like a good opportunity there, but not necessarily anymore. If you look at the futures, we're still battling 14.7. Nothing has changed there. If we resolve down, this is the reason I wanted to be in Roblox. Nothing happening in Tesla. Alphabet here. Alphabet never even got to VWAP. Like that might just be a just short at or slightly above VWAP setup for Alphabet. And I keep thinking we're going to get a push on Intel to allow it to go another leg to the downside, but that doesn't even happen just yet. I'm still just looking at the chat. Disney keeps trying head and shoulders. Disney keeps trying a lot of things, and not a lot of them are working. Disney, not much of a mover here. It's 83.60 Disney, I want to say. Was it? That's about right. 83.60, 83.50. Disney has been doing absolutely nothing. That was the afternoon high, was 83.60, and the morning low yesterday was 83.60. So I remember, and the only reason I know that is because I was looking at this broke 83.60. I thought it could be very bullish if it took out that top. It just never happened. So a bit of a waste of time looking at that. Hampton's Trader, Whirl was a good one. Wheeler, that is. I usually feel like these are done when they make that pullback, but this isn't that bad. Yeah, again, just how many of these names can't get above VWAP? Like, when do we get a runner that can hold VWAP and start breaking it above? You know how I feel about these. When they stair step up and make that bottom, you're either long off the original support level, or I'm long as it stair steps over VWAP. I even heard Sharif say the same thing. I feel precisely about it. If it's not strong enough to hold above VWAP, then I don't want to play it. So it's not quite there yet. There's still 40 minutes to go, so there's plenty of time. Oh, of course. I look away, and then this happens. I look away from OKT. I was staring at it, looking for a place to jump along. It breaks 74, goes 50 cents, and then all kinds of buying comes in there. So I guess if you stuck with it, maybe you get that one. But that's frustrating. There's a chance I could have had that. But really, that's not the same thing as the way Rivian was kind of spiking into resistance and not breaking it. And that's the difference. Like, Rivian spiked up, did not take out that 1705, which is the previous high. OKTA was taking every single support level out. Like, if you saw it spike to a support level and then bounce from it, that's a different story. So I'm going to take something out here on Roblox, because why wait for an extra 1 cent? I'll just get on the bid here. The market is holding 14.7 as we speak. We're not going anywhere. So if it's gonna be this, I want to get something out and see if I can't reload it off that 80 if I'm going to be trading this particular name. But OKTA, that was pretty dirty. You just had to wait $1 extra. I think everybody would have been looking at 75, and sometimes that's why it's 74.
Right, yeah.
It's that simple. And sometimes it's 76, because 75 is such an obvious level that everybody's looking for that to be the false bottom. It runs everybody's stop that took the 75 long, and then it gives you the long. So a lot of times that can be a way to be patient enough, maybe just be patient until you get the perfect price. That's frustrating, because I was staring at it for a good couple of minutes there.
It's a couple times. If you want just a quick little cheap scalp, well, first of all, we're at a Rivian. I don't think that's the situation. And I just want to say something because, you know, part of the trade that I'm doing, like that trade on Rivian, and like what I was talking about, I was just about to talk about like a little cheap scalp right here. It just keeps on bouncing Uber off this 42.85. So if you just want to like get in and out for like 10 cents or something, buying here, selling here, we talked about that going back and forth. We're actually pretty lucky to be sitting here on a Day Trade the World floor. Make sure you go check it out, daytradetheworld.com. And the thing is that I have, my fees today are $11. And I have 300 fills, right? It's like we get the opportunity to basically trade zero. And I know there's a lot of different, like Trade Zero, like Robinhood. There's many different, even Wealthsimple here in Canada, where you can go in and out like this. But our platform is really designed, you know, by traders, for traders, to be able to get in and out and scalp the way that we do. I've been on the same platform for 21 years. And so when I see something like this happen on Rivian, it's easy for me to flip over to it. We didn't have to pay for shorts. Neil went on a little bit of thing earlier today about most of the shares that we trade are going to be shortable without us paying anything extra. We do pay a clearing fee. Because we're on a prop floor, all of our fees are like just basically clumped together. We got to pay, you know, every time you go short, you pay an SEC fee, so on and so forth. So there's different fees that are involved here in the market, all clumped into one, and it's a very small percentage of every trade that you put on. There's a fee associated with it. So part of that is clearing. So there is, you know, there is moves to the downside here that you got to pay somebody to, you know, house these shares, but we already have that. So we came in, saw this little spike up, just right away said, okay, if we're going to go short here at 17, we actually got 1701s, or I believe, or something. Yeah, 1701s. Then, you know, we're going to give it up here to about 5, 6, 7, 10, something like that, where we put in a quick stop order and allowing me to get in and out real quick. So when it dips back down, this is a trade that I understand there's a lot of traders that are watching that aren't going to have the, you know, the quickness to do that. But there are also a lot of traders that are here at Day Trade the World watching this as well. So that's a good opportunity there, that if you do have a scanner or something like that, that's spiking for volume, which we do have built into our platform as well, that you'll be able to catch something like that on Rivian. And then look where it went back to, right back into these levels. So for me, that's kind of a no-brainer. Lucky that it's fallen through. Like if there's news, we're out. We're out for 5 or 6 penny hit. We talked about that, right? So look for, always zoom out. There's that saying, when in doubt, zoom out. But I really do think that that's important when news hits, like Neil just did with Okta. I mean, we kind of had 2 examples back to back right here.
That's weird, though.
You know, that coming into play. That's only on a daily. This is on today, a 1-minute chart. Neil did obviously zooming out a little bit more than that. But that's what it is, right? This is kind of like a 0-day to trade option here. Like you see a move come up on Rivian, you quickly grab that put at something, I don't know, whatever price, I don't know. I've never traded those. Those are soon to be coming here on our floor as well. So hopefully we'll be able to have that. But there goes C. Like, so again, for 5 cents worth of risk, I didn't even put the stop order out because as soon as I got to fill, it came back in. So 5 cents worth of risk, we're now in the money. Just look at my blotter there, 26 cents. So again, 5 to 1. That's not how we calculated it. That's why we take this out. When that goes 10 cents in the money, we quickly take that out, right? So giving us that ratio, then getting something out at the 200 period, and now you're dripping back in, maybe into the low of the day, in fact, for Rivian. Let's see if we can get a 63 fill. I mean, I was going to put a fill right there. So let's go, 1666. Okay, we'll put a fill on Rivian, 1666.
An interesting price.
It's the low of the day.
I do that. I know. It's just when sometimes it's fun levels like that.
I like to pick random.
Be sure. I usually try to pick
12.
I like to pick random prices because I find sometimes you park orders at the too obvious levels and you're just not going to get fills, especially if it's a consolidation. You're not going to get that fill. But just one quick note before I launch in. That trade, because Sean mentioned, of course, being on a prop floor. The trade on Okta, where you're looking for that false bottom, the way that I would have structured it, now it didn't happen at 75, but the way I would have structured off 74 is, as Sean mentioned, you zoom out, I went the wrong direction, you go to the daily chart, you find where there can be some support. There is all kinds of support in the 70s, and then you have this wick bottom at 75. So the second it gets down there, that's when I'm looking for a bounce. I'm not ever looking for a bounce anywhere else except for a significant level when there's flash news. And then the second it takes out an even dollar, I'm looking for it to snap back. So it didn't happen at 75, but at 74, that's what happened. It got through 74, it tagged down into 73.5 and snapped back to the upside. Now I'm looking for an entry. You could almost like throw a stop order, just punch long. I would punch long quickly above 74, looking for 10s or 12s or 15s, maybe 20s. Stop at the low of the day. Right, you're in, stop at the low of the day. First move up, I'm probably scalping some out at 76. I'm thinking, okay, like 77, take some out. If it's really good, sometimes you get back into VWAP, but the second it runs out of steam, I'm out. And I'm not trailing it out all the way to the bottom. I'm probably trailing it out at like 75, like somewhere up here, 74, 74.80. You want that trade to work right away. The whole point is that all the panic selling is over, and it's a relief rally. Shorts are covering. People are jamming long. The algos, so what happens on the way down is the algos are all over the offer and they've pulled the bid. When it makes the bottom, nobody wants to be sitting on the offer when it comes back up. So they pull the offers, it's really thin to the upside, shorts start covering. That's your trade. Like you're taking advantage of the fact that the few algos that are left are gonna give you these vacuums to trade in, and then you wanna be in and out of the trade. Now maybe it steps up to view up, I have no idea, but I would be out of it. I also said that I would take some out of Roblox shallow. because of what it was doing. And if it gets back up to 80, I will just jump back into it, essentially at the same price. I think if the market falls over on itself, that we should be okay. But until that happens, we'll just rinse and repeat while we can. It was very sketchy or alpha. Like, it's the kind of trade that you don't, like, that's not an easy trade to do. Like, I'll be the first person to tell you, like, I remember the flash crash. I was sitting at my desk, and all I remember doing was hitting shift escape. So shift escape just cancels every order that I have out to the market. Once I realized that's all I did, shift escape. And I just sat there and I observed the market for the entirety of that move. I didn't try to catch any longs. I didn't try to join any shorts. I just sat there and watched because it was freaky and it was dicey, and I don't want to be involved in it. Now, mini flash crashes, like when the AP had their account hacked, and this was back after the Boston Marathon thing. It was like a month after that. The Associated Press had their Twitter account hacked, and a false report got put out that tanked the market. In that moment, that's where you wanted to catch bids, because then suddenly, if you've seen one, then you wanted to catch that vacuum. So you got to be patient with those. It's a very crazy, quick trade to make, and you want to make sure you get a stop out right away. Like, the first thing you do when you take that rubber band trade, before I even take profit, stop goes in. Once your stop's in, then you can worry about it. Plug Power, Juan Alejandro saying that is an all-time low. We've been saying that a lot lately. I mean, I guess that's a sign of the times. Plug at $6. Wow. Yeah, this could be another. It's down 7%. It's got room. Flat bottom break, 6 even. Let me see the level 2 on this one. I wonder if I can just go here and scroll down and show you guys a level 2. Because if there's like a million shares on there when it breaks, like, that could be really spicy. Plug, maybe not that much. A couple 100,000 shares, a few 100,000 shares in the offer on the bid there. That could be significant if it takes out that $6 level on Plug. That's nasty, but what isn't today? Volume spike just now, heading to the downside. So Roblox just took some profit. It's the only thing we got into the short side on this last little move. Okta, if I had made the trade, I would probably be out of it. Even if it's still going up, I'd be out of it and thinking about where could it roll back over again. VWAP maybe, right around 78. The news was still bad at the end of the day, right? So until this thing shows me, signs that it wants to look weak again, I'd probably back off. It's a now SSR, so you have to respect the fact that it could actually go spiking to the upside on you. Bitcoin's rocking. Is it really? Let me just double check.
Is it? It's going up.
So by the way, someone said to me, I was complaining about my Binance chart. All of a sudden, like, my dark mode wasn't working on it. So they said, well, why don't you just use TradingView? So now I'm using TradingView.
Yeah.
What's up now, Binance? Get it right next time, and then we'd be able to show your chart for free. But now I'm showing TradingView's chart for free. So we didn't just make that big of a move.
It's going down.
Yeah, we didn't. Someone said flying. No, we actually just, whatever. We're at 2944, and I was looking at my other chart, which I track like a 15-minute on, and we're barcoding. So I have a 15-minute over here. I'm showing you guys the daily. Yeah, we're not really flying. We're kind of barcoding overall. I don't know. Can't trade on Binance in Canada anymore. Oh, I know. I just use the chart. I don't trade on Binance. That was the chart I chose for Bitcoin when we started doing the show, and that's the one I've had up, and now I'm going to use TradingView. It's that simple.
I forget what I had, but I just typed it in. I got this Kraken one. I think it used to be Crypto Watch or something. I don't know, but here it is. I don't really like this. I'm going to find another one. You are trying to break. There's too much, like, there's too much down here. Actually, I can probably, how do I get this? Close that, close that, close that. I just want to get rid of all, oops, I don't have any open orders. Here we go, close that, close that, close that. Ah, there it goes. Okay, open it up, back up again. No, I want to close everything here. There it is. So anyways, going back into what we're looking at for the day. Yeah, you're trying to bounce off 29,350 right now. But again, crypto doesn't necessarily, this is where we opened at 9:30. But again, crypto's 24 hours, so we don't have to worry about open or closing. But yeah, you're coming right back in right now. Nice little support area, possibly bouncing off of 29.4. So yeah, nice little 24-hour change of 2.5% upside for crypto. But we do have a new position. I'll put this back over there and figure out a better website than that. I like that TradingView for sure. And pretty soon we will have a better crypto offering on our platform. All right.
We should be breaking down here.
Yeah, we probably should be breaking down, but I'm just going to short. I don't know if this one's going to work or not. We're short at 91. I just wanted to get something on Google here. I just feel that we missed the 137, we missed the 138. We have no trades on this until right now here. So I was just looking at it thinking like again, taking some small positions now. I was just thought that if the market did break down, which it's I thought it was trying to do below the 50 into the close. It's 3:30. We're going to get those market on close imbalances coming through pretty soon. But just on a break back down in, if we could test that bottom, Google does have a little bit of a ways to go. And it looks like right here, Google's trying to break this 85. So it came in, it bounced off there a little bit. That could also be a long spot. And this is what I mean by just changing the way you trade. I mean, it's up to you which way you want to go. We do have some support all the way up here at 40. So I was thinking about getting a little bit more short into that level of 40, like into a 30s. Probably just take it easy for now on this trade and then give it up to about here. So we'll wait to see. There's some news coming through on my ear about Biden speaking with Netanyahu, so we'll see if that goes anywhere. I know the U.S. is trying to negotiate some hostage releases and things like that, which I think will be good for it, but I don't know. So we're just going to wait until we break up here. So small starter on Google. Definitely aware that if we were a little more patient, it's probably better to wait until we get into the 20s or 30s. So let's do that now. We've dug in a little bit here, but it's just a sliver. So we'll wait on Google. Hopefully it can come back. Again, the futures, let's just see if we bounce. If it does, I'll take Google short, down the same as the market. We'll see. Amazon's still down. 50 cents in AMD, 50 cents in Amazon, 20 cents there. And Rivian's trying to go back as well. Wow, we were waiting at 66. What was that little bottom wick? 69. So sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. Let's put another bid at 72 and just end Rivian if we can get it.
If you ever have a chance to bid 69, you're supposed to.
There was something else we looked at that was.
That's the hint right there. I'm right back in at the same price. So like if it was only going to give me Roblox, if it was only going to give me the mid 60s, take it and then just get back in the high 70s there. Renson, why don't you mirror your trades on QQQ when you make them Tesla, Google, Micro, Apple? Okay, so when trading big cap tech. Names, why not just mirror them with the Qs? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, it feels needlessly complicated. And a lot of the times, the reason why you want to take an equity, like if you take an equity off a key futures level, it's because I have the expectation that on the pullback, that particular equity is going to give me a better move than I will in the futures. Like it's at a really, really good level. It's extremely weak off of that level relative to the overall future. So I'm expecting a market turn, but I think the thing that I'm taking is going to be even better. Like that's the reason behind it, generally speaking. And usually and then sometimes it's just the case you're more comfortable trading in equities. But yeah, that's why I wouldn't do that necessarily. Like if you're in 3 or 4 tech names, I would say it's almost like an either or. Like if you're going to do that, you're trading those because you like those particular ones specifically, or just don't do them and just trade the Qs. It's almost a one or the other. Doing both, I don't know that I've heard of that. Actually, it's not true. Actually, there is a trader I know that would do that. And just one. I can think of one trader I know over 20 years who would be in like 3 or 4 big cap tech names and then would also take like a Qs position at the same time. And only one person I know that would do that. And generally speaking, when they would do it, it's because they were averaged in out of the money on the 3 big tech names, and then they're like, I'll just take the futures. And then that's what they would do. I don't think that's a reason to do it, but you got to stay in your comfort zone, really. Like, have a reason for doing it, and that's pretty much it. Sean knows who I'm talking about.
That's funny that Trawet there, the old long shot Louis. Yeah, he said sometimes you take some big shots on stocks there, and you're trying to go one way, and you're loading up one way, and then
long shot Louis.
I like that one, long shot Louis. That's pretty funny.
Is that like a gaming thing or something?
I don't know. Long shot Louis. I don't know. It sounds fun to me.
It does.
So yeah, I don't know if that's a thing or not. The young kids would know if that was a thing, not me.
I trust Google.
Yeah. So all right, our newest position is Google. That's the only one we're looking at. So let's talk about some of the positions that we're in. All right, so we already know that we're going to bid Rivian to get out of that one. We only have 20% left of that, so that's almost out. NIO, basically the same story. This has been in for the whole day. We're just being lazy with it. We should already be out of it. We're not really doing anything. Again, another 10%. All these positions are 10% other than Google. Amazon, again, just It's made that move down. I was just thinking that if we did come through with a crash, then we would be able to, hold this for a little bit more. As I said, this is not 10% actually. This is still 20% left on Amazon, 4 out. So we'll have to wait to see where that's going to go in. 125.50 looks pretty good. I'm actually going to put a bid on there right now as well. The reason why is yesterday, if you guys remember, if those of you watching, we do have an issue coming in at 350, and that is the market on close orders. And yesterday, I was just starting to build a position on AMD, and then I didn't even realize the time, and was caught offside on that last position and gave something back. So we don't necessarily want to get too carried away, which is why right now, heading into 334, the only position that I'm willing to add to or do anything with is this Google, because we've just looked at it, right? We've looked at it up here. I like this level. If it can come in, into the mid-20s, we'll take a position against that short of 136.40. But I'm not just going to sit in here and average in all the way up, only for these imbalances to come out bids. Brendan just gave it to us 4 minutes ago. It's 945 million to sell.
That's actually decent.
That's a decent size, but again, it's not doing anything to the market.
Nope.
He brought this 4 minutes ago. We actually have gone up since then, or held out relatively flat. So that's just a number that we get as an update. It's not really. The market hits at 350. So once that comes through, then we'll see. But hopefully Google pulls back in. I might have to take something. What are we short at? We're short at 95. May have to take something at that bottom in case it doesn't hold, or in case it holds, I guess. So I will put a bid down there at 85, but we do want more on this trade.
Oh, so you mentioned early look. Individual names on the early look, there's a couple that actually are not that insignificant. Pfizer is a 2.8 million sell early look. They're not having a good time. AT&T just had good earnings, 1.9 million to sell. Enbridge is there every single day as a sell side. Merck had a great day today. 1.4 million early look to sell. BE and ED, those are in their big buy and a big sell. And again, these are just early looks that you get on the NYSE as it comes, orders come into the handheld system. But those are significant ones. It doesn't mean that these are going to come out that way at 350. It's just this is what they are right now. So we'll have an eye on those. I got stopped out underneath the lower high on ARM. Remember, this one just couldn't get down to VWAP, and I wanted to give it that chance. Well, the market's barcoding. The price that was great this morning is not going to be as fantastic today. We're short of 48.30, the best we're able to get. I got a 48 out and was looking for this flat bottom to break. Should have just recognized the support and got out there. But the way the market was going down, I really thought we were rolling over. And, the lesson for me today, I think, was I could have been in something in a pre-market on ARM at 50 because it failed 50 at about 9:15, 9:18. And there was about 10 minutes to just even get into just something. Could have gotten anything because I missed the breakdown at the open. I tried to fire an order when it broke the pre-market low. I completely missed. I needed to cross by 10 cents more than I did. And that's just the way ARM trades in the morning. I remember, on the open, when this thing IPO'd, there was all kinds of liquidity when you were breaking levels. But now when you're trading it, of course, the spread's only 2 cents now. But at the open, the spread was ridiculous. And there was no getting into the short, at least not for me, until getting in that bottom. I still think this is the short till it's not, now that we've busted out this $50 level. Let's go to Brendan and handle some business.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, make sure you hit that QR code and find out about all of them terms and conditions with IG. So again, Frank Caberna, it's been a big supporter here. There's a support those guys if you can. All right, so we talked about another name I brought up Roblox. You started trading it. That's great. Another name that I brought up that was positive was Square. Now red on the day. Again, just breaking back down below VWAP. This stock's been pretty bad, $44. Wow. It went up to 300 or something during COVID. That was insane. But there's the move back in, watching to see Square 43.75, 43.80 or so coming into play with Square at some point. So there's also that coming through. We just had a 7 pennies, almost 8. We are, Google is pulling back. So again, if you've shorted with me on this one, you're in the money now, but we should have taken some more at 10s off the 50 period. I actually thought that we were going to be in a little bit of trouble, and we were going to get that trade, but we didn't. So we could still get it again. I think what time is it? It's just obviously, I was going to say it's getting closer and closer to the end of the day, but obviously that time doesn't stop. So, but we are getting close to maybe not putting on anything else. So I'm going to start getting it out. We just went down to 88. We're bidding 85s, maybe 86s. So pretty close to getting a piece out there on the way down. But for right now, Google's just doing absolutely nothing. Are there any names that anybody wants to talk to us about? Amazon, there it is. So Amazon, we are now out. That was a great one for us. So that Amazon trade, again, pretty good off. Not really a VWAP trade, but sort of. So we take that fill right there, 12s, all the way down. We just got a 55 fill. So that's 70 cents. So boom, boom, boom. We are now out of that trade, our last 20% out on Amazon. So we can now cancel that order, which we did to get flattened. So that's it. That's it. Good trade there on Amazon. Still waiting for Rivian to come in. What? 72s. So again, being a little greedy, just waiting for these little fills down there. It looks like we did get to 72, but missed us. So maybe we'll put it to 7. Okay, here comes 73. Let's wait for 72 now. Hopefully that will come in on Rivian and we'll end that day. And then Neo, we were trying to get greedy as well near the end of the day on that one, but maybe we'll just get out now. And there's just no point in fighting some of these moves that are going to happen at the end of the day. We're just going to top it off. Positive name for Rivian, positive name for NIO. You can see just a short right there. We might not fall back in, and even if we do, what's the difference? Falling back in another 7 cents isn't going to do anything. So let's just get a piece out at 60, end that trade. It's really just Google on board for me now, and we still have our AMD trade, which is kind of, actually, I mean, that could have been a reload there as well, but see what I mean? Just really, really choppy right now. There it goes, 340, so 10 more minutes. And we'll hopefully see a little bit of these imbalances affect the market in a way that's, what are you, net? Okay, you're net short, so good. So let's hope that we have a downside push.
While we're at it, a couple of things here. First, let's pour out a little something for AMC because it's back down to $9. That's a flat bottom break. It is ugly. It is nasty. There is nothing good about it. Just note that it's bounced off 9 before. Doesn't mean it's going to do it again. And if you're wondering, like, the opportunity that you see in something like an OKTA there to get those types of bounce trades, that's the kind of trade you want direct market access for. You know, it's not, oh, you want to be very fast. Now, maybe some retail platforms are going to give the ability to scalp something like this when it's making these couple of dollar moves, but you want something super fast. That's why it brings me to this, because our campus program is on again here at Day Trade the World. For those of you who've been watching, you know all about it. We're here to tell you guys, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everybody. First things first, this is completely free, 100% free. You get a chance to learn on the same platform that we're on right here. We're going to take you step by step through it. First things, you got to get an introduction to the market. If you are a beginner, you do learn the absolute basics. I think that can be key. If you already know it, fine. It just means maybe you get a refresher on it. Then you get to understand the platform that we're on. It's called Pete Pro 8. It's proprietary to Day Trade the World. I use it. Sean uses it. Brendan, Sharif, Adara, everybody on the floor here and everyone at Day Trade the World uses this platform to execute. It's very fast. It's fantastic. You get a chance to go into the simulator after that. That's phase 3. One-on-one coaching. You could be in this for multiple weeks. At the end, you get a nice certificate and then go to where you're trying to get to. That is live trading. That is your ultimate goal. You still get one-on-one training. You're going to have goals to be able to become a funded trader. So at the end of this, you can come out of it a funded trader with an account that you're able to trade the same way that we're able to. Just got to be able to put the time and effort, about 16 hours a week. Do you have what it takes? As it says at the end here, applications are going in for the 6th of November. So get them in. It's campus.daytrade the world. As I said, it is completely free. Got to be in Canada for now. Eventually, they might be able to expand this a little bit, but this is what it's all about. It's about being passionate about trading, willing to put in the effort, and at the end of the day, the only thing asked from you in this program is your time and effort. That is something I think we're all willing to do for something that we're passionate about. At least I hope we are at the end of the day. You can also scan that QR code below if you're interested in the program. And as I said, you know, there's certain styles of trade that are obviously not going to be for everybody, but something like that where you're going, you know, whether it's Rivian, that spike up, or Okta, the back and forth spike, or scalp trading, that's the kind of thing you do want to have a very fantastic and fast platform to be able to execute, because execution and price is everything when you make these moves. You cannot be late. You can't be, if you're 10 cents late, you're not getting the trade. You know, and if you're 50 cents late, you shouldn't be taking the trade. It's that kind of a play, so you want to make sure that you're fast enough there. What else we got going on? I was AMC. I was getting to. Wow, there was nothing specific that happened on AMC. It just rolled over. You know, it was a flat bottom break on AMC. Looks like that one's just absolutely quadunking here. That's nasty. It is bouncing off 9. I guess that's the one good thing. But if anything, it's probably even a fade on a bounce like this. We have 5 minutes to the imbalances, so I'm just going to hold what I have, see what happens at 350. I saw that's for PFE, but I'm not sure what the reference was. Pfizer?
There was some sort, they have a new FDA-approved Penbrea, first and only vaccine for the prevention of the 5 most common serogroups causing meningococcal? Yeah, meningococcal.
Meningococcal meningitis?
Yeah, meningitis disease in adolescents.
Okay. They're a big sell imbalance, but I don't think that's going to move.
Yeah. I think Pfizer's been on there for a while.
Yeah, every day.
If it's not moving now, there's the Okta share trading lower on a report suggesting the company said its support system was breached using stolen credentials. So not even hacked, just kind of someone, they have credentials already that they have stolen from them. That's probably better then, actually.
That's not as, well, I mean, it's not good.
No, it's not good, but somebody, you know, it's like they have passwords that, you know, they've decided to share. And unfortunately, that's what it is. So we'll wait on that one.
Sometimes that's how these hacks work.
Yeah, no, that is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll just do this right now because, again, this is a chicken dinner winner. Was sausage today, by the way. We forgot to do what was for lunch. It was sausage in a red sauce. It looked like it had some, I think it had some green beans in there. There was roasted potato as well. So
it was delicious.
So shout out to that one there. But oh, it was egg salad, so that was a good one on top of the salad. But here we go, man. Traders see traders, and there it is right there. We finally got a nice little move there for Google. We'll put another bid here at 71. Oh, we just missed it. That's okay. We're out of 40% right now on the way down in. So there it is, man. We're short at O's. We talked about that. Now we're taking 30 cents on this trade. Guess where our stop was? We already talked about that up here. So it's a pretty good trade there, 1-to-1 now so far. Just waiting, man. It's 346. Honestly, I'm going to get a piece out right now. I'm just going to punch those 81s or 80s, whatever that was. Excuse me, get out. Just been chugging this water here, trying to stay refreshed for the close. We have traders stay late with us at 3:45. That's what it is right now. At 4 o'clock until about 4:30, we will be talking all about the markets. We do have chartered market technician today, Michael Noss, who's already been on the show earlier. I'm going to talk to him about any swing possible plays that he has on board as well. He's our every Friday guest, and I've done that on purpose because we see him in the morning, and then I want to talk to him about any plays that he's looking to set up first thing come Monday, any kind of levels that are all set up for us so that you guys can go do your research there on whatever idea he gives us into the weekend. Come back with your own fire on Monday and see how that works out for you as well. So shout out to Michael Noss, who will be coming through with me very, very shortly. Yeah, everything's all good, man. Let's take out some more Google there at the bottom. Did we get out of something else? Yeah, Amazon, unfortunately. I mean, look, it's another one. So we'll do this because so far here in the afternoon, it's been 2 trades, right? And if you're in them, then it's deuces. It's 2 for 2. We have Amazon short. We actually scratch it. It's trips this afternoon. Shout out to Triple H. It's 17 short on Rivian. So that's the first trade. That's not the first trade, but that's one that we've given you. We gave Microsoft, but what time was this? 2:10. So yes, sir, that trade was given as well. This is a monster. The Microsoft trade is a monster. So hopefully you still have that if you have that on. And then AMD, we didn't. That's not a new one. That's an old one. Amazon, and then Google, I guess, was the only other one that we put on. So we're going to go 4 for 4. Rivian, Microsoft, Google, and maybe that's it here in the afternoon. So far, so good. Let's go Google. It's pouring down. I actually forgot about this Microsoft trade and how good that was off VWAP right there. It's too bad that we did wind up covering it. But again, the cover was pretty good. Just now breaking lower than our best cover right now. So good trades off VWAP, and yeah, only 2 more minutes, Neil, until those imbalances, and we should be able to kick it off, hopefully with a downside move. It was 9:45 to sell.
Yeah, it is a big sell imbalance, and it's now 1.4 billion to sell according to Brendan. So I think I'm hanging on to the shorts even though the market's bouncing off the lows. It was just saw someone, Daniel Boo, is the reason you don't trade, and this is both of us, do not trade UVXY. So I traded UVXY for a couple of months in the middle. It was the middle of last year, I want to say. It was definitely towards the middle to the end of last year. And I was doing okay on it. I just found that, you know, it got really good for like a couple of weeks, and then suddenly like the levels that I was playing off of and the manner in which I was trading, like support resistance, it just wasn't as fantastic as it was. It slowed down. I was like, yeah, this isn't really, I didn't really see any more upside in it, so I went away from it. At the end of the day, you're not forced to trade anything. You want to trade something that works for you. I am thinking about a fade at 350 on AMC here. It's pretty weak. I don't think it's going to come out as an imbalance. I have no idea. But that was a pretty big drop going into it. Okay. So if it were to, I'm just looking for something, like if it were to pop up for whatever reason at 350.
Directly at the bottom.
I know. Like I'd be looking, if it does pop at 350, I'd be looking to fade the pop on AMC. So that's on my mind as we get to the imbalances. They'll still have it up live, but that's level 2 I have up, so we'll get the imbalance. Why did you hit the fail?
Fabian is just, he's like, he really likes these graphics.
Yeah, okay, well, AMC's been failing for a while. Like, that's nothing new for AMC.
No, we talked about, and actually Danielle Shea yesterday on the show talked about an L on that. She last time she was with us last week, she did talk about buying some AMC. Okay, here goes the market right now. The imbalances are out. We'll wait to hear what that number is. Right now, there 1.4 billion to sell was the number a couple minutes ago. Brendan's going to put the newer one in right now. Cisco with a buy. Looks like a buy to me. Cisco with a buy.
These are all buys.
Things looking buyish right now, but there it is.
Apple's a sell. Apple 1.1 million to sell on Apple.
So that's a big one there. We'll drop it down because there it is, man. Google again. Pay to man right now. Let's go. Google with the downside. We're going to end the day, honestly. We're going to be green today. That's good. And we're also going to end the day at our highest spot. Thank you to Mr. Google. Thank you to AMD. That is now 70 cents in the money. I got to get ready to go over there. Look at our Amazon trade that we had on for everybody. That one's really cracking lower. Microsoft, that trade lower. And then the trade that we're in, look, we worked our way through this. And I was actually talking with the guy in the back there because there's a whole bunch of traders in the back now, or employees for Day Trade the World that are in the back now. And I was like, it's great to see you and blah, blah, blah. And we started going on talking all about it. And we were talking about changing up some of our styles. And I said, I'm trying to make trades now that, you know, I've learned a lot about how to trade and be on the show at the same time. And I think it's just going a little bit slower, trying to make some trades that are accurate as far as easy to explain, easy to give to you traders. And that's what we did here with this Google trade. We explained the risk that's associated with it and what we were looking for. So it's been a nice move right here. Now 50 cents in the money on this one as the market continues to go down. So far so good here as we get ready to go into the imbalance. And Brendan gave it to us, I don't know if you said it, 2.1 to sell.
That's
billion.
surprising.
That's surprising. Because I looked at those numbers and
didn't look like that.
Looked like more bids were there, but
that's what it is. It's 2.1. It's 2.1 billion to sell. That's the truth. So I didn't see like gigantic numbers, but I guess if you add it all up, it is mostly sell side on the bigger names. Not that anything stood out except for Apple. Apple's the one name that stood out. So on the way down, I'm just going to take what we can get on Roblox here. If that's what it wants to be, if you're going to risk 5, we'll take whatever it tends to give us. Intel never popped. This is not a good sign for Intel, by the way. Like in that entire malaise, this stock just never really made much of a bounce. It continues to flush. The worst part about this is Intel is going to close, possibly breaking this trend line from the bottom. Can I zoom? Yeah, this is not going to be good for Intel. It's breaking trend on the bottom here. If it gets through 34, it was like 34.80 is that bottom, and it's going to possibly close underneath that trend. This gets nasty if it breaks this trend line. On the other side, Micron was relatively strong. So surprise, Intel breaking trend, Micron nowhere near it. Suddenly, I feel as if one stock is stronger than the other, and you can pretty much tell which one that's going to be. So on Monday, there's a decent chance I'm going to really, really like the Intel short, depending on where things open up. But for now, the market is tanking. It is tanking. I don't have any bids out on it, but I'm going to have to do that now because it's the end of the day, so I'm just going to get in the 80s. If it broke 35, I'm getting out regardless. That OKT Okta, it did get to VWAP, but almost like barely. So it tagged VWAP, or actually came shy of it by about 20 or 30 cents, and then turned around. So this was probably worth it. It gave you the standard, hero bottom, play the range a couple of times in there. The story being that they were hacked, but it looks like it was an employee password hack. Not that that's any better. Down 12%. And on monster levels, it broke through some monster levels, but getting into some big levels on OKTA. This should be on watch on Monday. With five minutes to go, I like that one. Bonkzilla Merger Monday. Actually,
nice.
What's interesting is ever since the ATVI deal went down, I've been waiting for like someone to make a response. Someone's gonna, like, there's gonna be some kind of combination in that space after Microsoft just became a bit of a juggernaut. I'm not saying there's going to be a deal on Monday. I'm just speculating that there could be something in the gaming space in the next couple of months. After, like, when one juggernaut happens, there's always a response, right? You know, like when, especially like in energy, when you have a big deal and someone comes and says, "Hey, we got to do something as well." So we'll see what happens in gaming. But Merger Monday's always been a bit of a thing. U.S. Steel, is anything even happening there? That was a rumor that went nowhere, I feel.
No, yeah, well, because of X, right? People thought that the symbol was going to get taken over by your guy over there.
The Cliff thing, it's like,
all right, here we go. So Google's trying to do a dance here. Yeah, Cliffs. There was some merger talk.
it was U.S. Steel Cleveland Cliffs that went nowhere.
There we go. All right. All right. We just got out at 40s right there. Spin it for one last time before I go over to the desk. There it is. Google. We just got it out for a monster trade. Again, you know, twice the fill. Nice downside move right there. Out at 135.40. So short 36s, out 40s. That's 60 cents. We're out of it now. We don't have to worry about the imbalance flip. I'm going to go run over there. Yes, sure. Yeah, we're a little bearish today. We're a little bearish, but we're ending the day at our highest spot. So it's going to be a good one for us here. Yeah, look at that. Good out. Now the market starts to bump right back up. So that's why I just had a bid there. And we know it flips over at 355, some of those imbalances. It's a key time to sort of pair off some levels. So that happened, and now it's straight to the upside. So I still feel like we need to do some work on that because there is some, I was going to say there's better ideas.
355.
355, yeah. But I was saying, I think there's some, when it comes 2.1 billion to sell like that, at 355, wouldn't be surprised that we do get a little bit of a bump up there, especially looking at, like, let's just quickly
But that's
look.
the play. The reversal at 355 off any big.
I want to see, like, I almost think that we should study, like, what percent is that that works out. Let me just see if the Qs, how much. Oh, we have bad wicks. Yeah, so a little bit, right? So 345 up there, 80, so about 40 cents right there. So yeah, nice little bounce in the Qs. All right, I got to go over to the desk. So I'll see everybody in just a couple minutes. Make sure you join me, Michael Noss, on the recap show. It's 30 minutes. It's a hell of a lot of fun. We have lots of things to talk about. I got some cool graphics and whatnot. So join me in just a couple minutes over at the big desk.
Exactly. With 3.5 minutes to go, I just got out of both positions. 355 when things bounced. Market bounced off lows, got out of Roblox, got out as well of Intel at the bottom. The one thing I actually didn't mention this, but it's an important thing when you're trading. Sometimes, like, the worst possible thing is going to happen to you, and you got to be able to put it in the back mirror. Be like a closer in baseball. You've got to have a short memory. So I had what I thought was a great short on Intel, and it was at the wrong price, and it was at the wrong entry point, and that got proven out when I got stopped out at the high, and then I was the high on Intel. And so if I've zoomed out, and we always say when in doubt, zoom out. If I had zoomed out on that one, and you look at yesterday's top, I should have been more than willing to re-enter at the top. Like, it was a bad stop out. I'm giving it to a local high, and when it showed strength above it, I just said, okay, I'm getting out of this. I'm hanging on to ARM. ARM was still good. I should have jumped back in the trade. I did not. I felt like an idiot for not doing it. But once it set up again, and once it broke underneath yesterday's lows, this is the next trade for me. Like, it breaks underneath the lows, confirms weakness. The next pop into that previous bottom is what I shorted. And that's what I just got out of. You've got to be able to, sometimes you anchor yourself to the previous trade, but just move on. You've got to be able to move on. It was the same thing when I missed ARM today. And I like this. You guys were here in the afternoon yesterday when I was talking about and took the 50 short, that this was the one. And it was, just didn't get it, and you got to move on and make the next trade. Otherwise, you're going to be in an ugly place. I see you guys out there. We have a rule. We got to get to 15. If you guys want me to drop a wrap on Friday, If we get to 15, that's the rule. For 15,000 likes, let's do it. And I'll do you one better. How about this? I'm not here next Friday, but the Friday after that to end the month, I'll give you a discount. Like the next one will be 1,000 likes, and one of these times we'll do that. But it's always been 1,500. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Most importantly, share the program with your friends. If you enjoy what you see here, and if you want to grow the community, and you think this is a valuable community like we do, then make sure you're telling people. There's nothing worse than trading alone and not having someone to bounce ideas off of or someone to learn from. Thomas Johnson, gotta have Mullen Mondays. Every day's a Mullen Monday if you're short that stock, isn't it? So by the way, Mullen, and I said this the last time we got here, looking for a 10-cent bounce on Mullen. And I hate to be, I actually feel bad saying this, that I'm looking for a 10-cent bounce on Mullen, because we just said that all the way back in April, and then they reverse split, and then we said the same thing back in August, and then they reverse split, and now I'm going to be saying the same thing back in October. I'm not entirely sure this should be allowed. How in the heck is this even happening for a third time? But it's going to 10 cents, and I suppose they try and split again. That's ridiculous to me, but this is where we're at. The stock is going to 10 cents. Look for a bounce there where 1 cent is 10% and see if you can't catch something, but that's for another time. With just about 25 seconds to go, Adair is making her way over to the bell. It's been a fun week. It's been a good week, but you've had to be short the last couple of days if you wanted to reap those profits. Thankfully, when we're trading, we're able to do that. So the camera's off me, as it should be, and the countdown is on to end the week. No red today, but the market was red, Adair. In 5, 4, 3, 2... And the market is closed. It wasn't, as I said, it wasn't a good day if you are sitting there and looking at your long-term account because everything was headed to the downside. NASDAQ down 1.5%. The ES down 1.3%. Not the best, but the shorts were definitely fantastic. Shout out, as always, to our production crew, Fabian, Ramin, also Mark, Randy, Rob, hanging around and always helping us with a bunch, getting us coffee, which is fantastic. They don't have to do that, but they do, and they're great guys. Want to shout out, of course, to Sharif, Obi, Adara on the midday, killing it all week. They'll be back next week doing their thing as always. Brendan doing a fantastic job. You know how he is. And we had our guest this morning, Michael Noss, and he'll be right back in the after show with Sean. You know who I am. Make sure you have a fun and exciting weekend. Come back refreshed because you get more earnings next week. It'll be absolutely fantastic. But you're not going anywhere. You're going from here to there, which is where I'm pointing right now. That's over to the desk with Sean. It is the Market Recap Show with Mr. Katina and special guest Michael Noss.
All right, yes, it's Mr. Michael Noss coming through. Welcome to the Market Recap Show. It's going to be a good one. Traders, stay late, and you're staying with me right now, so I hope all is well. It was a big, big day, but I feel like I'm saying that every day. There's lots of good opportunities every single day. Today, a little bit choppy back there.